Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Combined Ops Hangout here with Matt and Tim. And we're doing something a little bit different for a change, something we've not done before. We are doing, I guess, a faction review style.
Death Guard special.
As Tim said, yeah, we are gonna look at we're doing a 40k episode. That we're not. Well, we may touch on other things, but this is going to be mainly about 40k, about a faction that both me and Tim have close to our pus-filled hearts, the Death Guard. Yeah, Tim's sick as well. So just to make this extra nervly, Tim is going to be sniffing and coughing down the microphone all episode, and I've got a sore throat. And by the end of it, everyone that's watched this video will start to feel sick. So probably just by listening to us. So how are we going to do it? Me and Tim are going to talk about why Death Guard are so cool and why we were drawn to collect them and stuff. And then Tim's going to look at some of the history of the Death Guard, and I will chip in every so often because my memory's gone blank a little bit on that side of it. And then we're going to talk about some of the units, some of the cheeky little tactics you can come up with, and our experience playing with them so far. So we'll start with Tim because I've just rabbited on for a bit. Tim, Death Guard for you. How, what, why, when, and Nurgle?
Well, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Well, actually, back in 5th edition, I do believe, 5th, 6th edition. I came across a new edition of the Chaos Marines Codex, and within that was the Death Guard. And I'm like, these guys are freaking cool. Obviously I've known about them for a long time. I first saw a Plague Marine in my first White Dwarf that I bought back in the 90s and thought they were pretty cool back then, but didn't really know what they were. And anyway, come 5th edition, you had the release of the Hellbrute and the Hell Turkey alongside all these other cool units. And I'd also run Plague Bearers quite successfully in a Khorne Nurgle demon army. So I knew that they were quite potent through there. So I immediately wanted to do a Plague Marine army. And I used Typhus with lots of what are now Poxwalkers or then Plague Zombies, using the Mantic Zombie miniatures. That army got moved along, regretfully nowadays, but hey, I got a tidy sum out of it, which funded other toys, so can't complain too much. So yeah, I did that army a while back now, and now I'm coming back home to Death Guard, different paint scheme, and all the new miniatures because they look fucking brilliant. Matt, how about yourself?
I was always a fan of Nurgle. So of all the Chaos Gods, Nurgle always appealed to me, probably because I was such a sickly child. And still am. I still catch every freaking disease going. Like if someone's sickening me, guaranteed the next day I'll have that. So I guess the thing is, I always wanted to do a Nurgle army, and I had for a long time, not that long ago. I had a Forge World Great Unclean one sat around for ages, and it was one of those things. I kept looking at it going, I need to do a Nurgle army. I need to do a Nurgle army. What do I do? I don't really like Chaos Space Marines. I liked the old Plague Marine models, the fat sort of stumpy sword and bolter Plague Marine models. I don't know why, because you look at them now, they're a bit uninspiring, but I just liked them. I just didn't want to do a Chaos Space Marine army because they kind of sucked. And then I didn't really want to do a Chaos Demon army because they kind of sucked. And
Why did they kind of suck?
I just didn't like the idea of just doing demons. I didn't want. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't play enough 40k, I guess, at the time. The time I had this sort of real drive to do Nurgle, I also wasn't playing very much 40k. It was mainly other games. So it sort of got pushed to the back. At the end, I sold that freaking Demon Prince, didn't I? Oh, sorry, Unclean One. I sold it.
No,
I made profit. I did get I did sell it for more than what I actually paid for it in the end. So I got a bargain. I got it for an absolute bargain. So I did actually end up selling it for slightly more than what I ended up paying for, but not by much. And it was still like way cheaper than like what you buy them new for now. So, so like I'm gutted. But like I'm very, very, very happy with the new
one is cool.
Unclean One kit. I've got a Rotogus built. I thoroughly intend to pick up another one to build it as a normal Unclean One as well. But that's I always wanted to do a Nurgle army, and when this Death Guard Codex dropped with the new Dark Imperium set, sorry, it didn't drop straight away, did it? This was what the
Dark Imperium.
The Dark Imperium set dropped. There was Death Guard in it. They were the only Chaos faction that I would consider, or that I ever considered doing as a Chaos army. And when they got their own codex, I was like, right, I'm doing it. I'm going to get back into 40k. I hadn't played it in a while. I'd sold my Tyranid army ages ago because I played one game, got smashed by Necrons, and rage quit. I'm going to get back into 40k with 8th edition. I'm going to finally do a Death Guard army. It's going to be Nurgle, and I'm going to keep at it, and I'm not going to end up selling it by rage quitting. And I haven't yet. So, and I've committed myself now because I bought like sort of the more expensive models as well. I've got Mortarion, I've got my Rotogus there. Obviously, he's technically not Death Guard, but allied.
It's all Nurgle.
Yeah, well, I've got the Chaos Demon Codex and everything now as well. So, and obviously the benefit now as well is the crossover between. I suppose it was always there, but in the basing side of it is that I can now play AOS with the Nurgle demons as well.
Yeah.
Which I don't play a lot of AOS, but my friend does, so it means I can play with him if I want to. So, and they're just cool. I love those sort of tough defensive armies that can take a punishment and just sort of keep kicking back.
And deal it out as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And we'll get to that when we start talking about some of the, obviously some of the units and stuff.
And there's some really nasty combos too.
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember telling you about a couple of them before you picked up the book and you were like, what?
Yeah. And even at Games Workshop yesterday, Kristen, the store manager at Mountain Cravat, was telling me a really nasty combo to include your Great Unclean Ones, which we'll come back to. So, no, the demons aren't Death Guard, but hey, they work really well together.
Yeah, exactly. I've already been, obviously we've both been working on this. We talk about it all the time. Just getting the two detachments in together. So basically, where are you off to? Tim's decided to rummage through his cupboards.
Yes. I found them. Sorry about that.
What did you lose?
Old Death Guard miniatures.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Tim is now going to go into the history of the Death Guard. What, some of their key points, what makes them so freaking damn cool, why you should collect Death Guard, and why you should join Nurgle and all his goodness.
Blessings of Nurgle be upon you.
Spreading the love. Why is he Irish?
I don't know, but he's so happy.
The Irish are very happy right now, but
oh, aren't they just? Alrighty. So yeah, history of the Death Guard. Really, we'll go through the fluff first, I suppose. History of the Death Guard all really begins in fluff terms during the Great Crusade. And even prior to that, the Emperor obviously created the 20 Primarchs, and they were scattered by the chaos, winds of chaos to the four corners of the galaxy. And Mortarion, our illustrious leader, landed upon, I'm going to say cursed world of Barbarous, which was run by chaos-tainted Xenos overlords. Were they Xenos? Not quite sure. That part can change. It depends on which site you're reading from or which book you're reading. Either way, these overlords on Barbarous, they lived on the mountain tops where there were highly poisonous gases and very toxic environment. And the humans eked out a living, scratching the earth in the dank valleys of Barbarous. Mortarion was found by the most brutal and most powerful of these overlords, and was taken into his castle, I suppose, and raised as this guy's own, and fought battles against the other tyrants on Barbarous for this overlord who goes unnamed. Anyway, eventually Mortarion comes across the humans and realizes that they're the same, from the same genus. He's a more advanced version of them, but that they're the same. And he realizes that it's their time to rise up. So, and he takes control of the resistance, like all the other Primarchs, and rises up. And he leads his warriors on a global campaign of world domination, as you do when you're a Primarch, and cleans up Barbarous to some degree. Still got the poisonous gases, but they're fighting away and killing all the tyrants. And they're getting back to the last one, his adoptive father or parent, and for lack of a better term. And he's on the cusp of final victory when, lo and behold, Daddy Emperor Deer from Terra, a great distance away, who just rocks up, "G'day," and says, "Well, I'm here to help you. I can kill this guy for you. We can be on our way. Happy days." Mortarion's like, "No, I'm going to finish this myself. I started this. I'm going to finish this." And he's like, "Well, all right, you can, if you can't finish this, if you can finish this, you won't owe fealty to me," says the Emperor. "But if you don't finish this and I have to do it for you, then you will owe eternal fealty to me." Yada, yada, yada. And so Mortarion's like, "Yep, right, you're on." Goes up there and attempts to end it, but is overcome by the toxic fumes, the most toxic fumes of this warlord's house and all the rest of it. And they're almost dying and choking out from these gases, and this overlord's about to slay him. And the Emperor rocks up in a divine show of force, smotes the ruin upon the rock of this tyrant, and lo and behold, Mortarion is forced to owe fealty to this upstart Emperor god creature corpse dude. Anyway, I digress. Nurgle. Yeah, so that sows the seeds of discontent in Mortarion. Great Crusades roll on, and he meets Horus. They become very close mates. And so Mortarion is very early on one of the chosen to choose sides with Horus. and things spiral out of control. He knew that there was still a large loyal contingent from Terra to the Emperor within the Death Guard. Now, prior to the Great Crusade, the Death Guard were known as the Dusk Raiders, and even during the Great Crusade, before they met Mortarion, they were called the Dusk Raiders. This is because they liked to attack just before night, right as the sun was setting. So terror tactics through there. Very good at attrition warfare, and grinding them down using biological weapons, so forth, and toxic weapons against their enemies. So yeah, there was still a very loyal contingent to the Emperor within the ranks of the Death Guard. So he had them all killed. Famously, during Istvan 5. Istvan. Is it Istvan 4 or 5? Or is it 3?
I thought it was 4, but
4?
I get confused.
One of the Istvan. We'll say the Istvan campaign. So during the Istvan campaign, they were all killed off, except for Eisenhorn. He was one of the few to escape, along with a couple of other Death Guard and other loyalist Marines on the Eisenstein. And there's a book all about that you can read called Flight of the Eisenstein. Anyway, so yeah, over the course of the Horus Heresy, now on their way to the final push to destroy Terra and the throne, the Death Guard becomes becalmed in the warp, and the Destroyer Plague is unleashed by Nurgle upon the Death Guard. They're very resilient to such diseases and biological weapons, so forth, and toxic fumes, thanks to their Primarch's gene seed. And so they're quite in a lot of pain during this period and this short period, and more so than any, and they're begging for death. And Nurgle comes to Mortarion and says, well, join me and I can save you, and I'm happily take you into my arms, yada yada yada. And Mortarion gladly chooses that, and so the Death Guard are born, and they come out of the warp festering, and the Death Guard that we know and love in 40k. After Horus failed to kill the Emperor, the Death Guard fell back in good order. They held their ranks together. One of the only legion, I believe, that did so, as Guilliman pushed them back into the warp. And so, yeah, they were pushed back into the warp. And so Mortarion went on a campaign of conquering and destroying other legions and other warbands within the warp, and carved out a new Barbarous, the Plague Planet, within the warp and within the Eye of Terror. So, yeah, and he since resurfaced a number of times, famously fighting against the Grey Knights, and he slew the Grand Master, and then Kaldor Drago? Yeah, Kaldor Drago. Then slew Mortarion, but not before Kaldor Drago carved his name upon Mortarion's heart. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Except I'm pretty sure that Mortarion just wants to beat the living shit out of Kaldor Drago nowadays, along with a few other people. But yeah, So yeah, that's pretty much history up till current times. They ransacked. They were running around along with corn units in the Siege of Vrax. In terms of Forge World. So yeah. Anything you want to add? Huh?
I'm just trying to remember. Just because one of our friends has a loyalist scum chapter of Marines. I'm just trying to remember what battle it was where we screwed them.
Which is the
Minotaurs.
Ultramarines. Oh, the Minotaurs. Yeah, that's right. There, it's in there.
The Death Guard just literally.
It's in the timeline.
I know. I'm trying to find it. I'm looking at the timeline now. I'm just like, where? Because that was one of my favorite bits. Because obviously a good friend of ours.
That's right. Yes.
Chapter.
Yeah, Paolo. That's right.
The Seventh Plague Company strikes at the Fortress Monastery of the Minotaurs chapter. Their attack is driven off, but basically, even after they've been driven off, Mortarians, well, not Mortarion himself, but the Plague Marines basically completely ruined their whole gene seed that they had in the Fortress Monastery, meaning no more Minotaurs for a while unless they can get some fresh gene seed.
Yeah, I think Paolo might have to be purchasing some Primaris Marines through there.
Oh,
I can't remember if Paolo is a fan of Primaris Marines or not. I don't think he is.
No,
he's never. No, he hasn't told us if he is or he isn't. I don't think.
I reckon he's Italian. Bigger is better, right?
Yeah. I think that's interesting as well.
2 seconds. Carry on.
Oh, pizza. Yes. So yeah, Death Guard are very cool. And they do have this awesome history behind them. Anyway, behind this history are the miniatures. So we'll crack into some miniatures now. I've got a few different ones here. In front of me, I've got one of the first versions to be released in metal. Is really quite cool. The first ones, looking at this, quite tiny compared to the new ones. About half the size, 2/3 the size, and their plague knife is tiny. They got a little skull hanging off the belt. And they look a lot like normal Marines. Like, they're not as bloated as they would become. And these miniatures were released originally back in the 90s from late 80s, early 90s from memory. And yep, I'm just talking about the miniatures released. So we're talking about the first one, or the very first ones that were released.
Awesome.
So
I remember most of them, to be fair.
Yes. I'm just trying to remember when the first ones were released. I might have to crack out Google for that. Nurgle miniature. Oh, hang on. Plague Marine. So yeah, they're released early on. And there was a plastic set, which I never have been able to get a hold of. And they all had the same pose. They were in a box of 5 or so.
That's probably the ones I
really. Yeah. The metal ones, they've got more dynamic poses, the original ones, but they're still looking a lot like a normal Marine. Like, they're not bloated. They don't have many mutations on it. It's like they're just like, I don't know, angry Marines, I suppose, is a good way of putting it. Hang on. Yes, they're the ones.
Yeah, these are the ones that I sort of remember first seeing, and I liked them in a weird way. They look just slightly fat, but that's it, really.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the metal one I've got is actually quite thin, like, compared to the way you think of the current Nurgle Marines. Like, and I mean, some of the current ones are a bit thinner, like their armor isn't as bloated, but a lot of them, they've got like gaping maws on their armor and so forth. History. 28 years of Plague Marines. Here you go. 2017. So, yeah. There you go. So, second edition was back in 97. Yeah, so you had quite a few options back then. You had a melter gun released, a plasma gun released, Plague Champion with a plague, what would have then been a power sword, but now a plague sword, power fist, plasma. So they've always had a power fist. It's pretty cool. 1994 was the very, very first ones. So yeah. And 94 is the plastic ones. So, that's just before I'm hitting high school in grade. I would have been in grade 6. Crikey, that's a long time ago. And then after sometime later, you had the metal set come out, re-released. That was in use all the way up. I think from 2002, it says here. I don't know how accurate that is. It's probably right. And they were looking pretty mean back then. They're starting to look a bit more bloated and all the rest of it. And that's these miniatures here.
Classic Space Marines.
So,
backpack.
Yes. And they still have that classic Space Marine, Chaos Space Marine look. With more Death Guard iconography. A couple of them were a little bit more bloated. Like I think this one is if you take the bolt gun away from him and all the rest of it. And they kept those up in Finecast as well. When I was running, I've got one here actually. Failcast. That's the Plague Champion in Failcast there. So. Missing his backpack.
Right.
They're not bad. They're solid miniatures. I think the arm's actually plastic Space Marine arm, actually.
I don't think anyone's ever Finecast is solid, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were good miniatures. Like for their time, they were really good miniatures. But there just wasn't much variation. Forge World released a upgrade set which you can still access, which is pretty cool. Like if you want to grab like a normal kit of Chaos Space Marines, I think it's a box of 8 or so Chaos Space Marines. You can upgrade them with this Forge World set, and they start looking a lot more nurgly. And they also do a upgrade set for the Terminators as well. Which isn't too shabby. Like if you don't want the Cataphract de-armored Blight Lord Terminators or the Death Trap, you can go with normal Terminators.
To be fair, my mate's got a Death Guard. He's got the Nurgle Forge World Terminator upgrade set, and they're badass.
Oh, sweet. So yeah, I mean, if you were running, I guess, it'd be really cool. Like if you're running a Chaos Space Marine decks list alongside a Death Guard Codex list, say 2 battalions, for example, 1 of each, they'd be a really good upgrade set for that to denote that they're Plague Marines, but they're not Death Guard Plague Marines, I guess, is the best way to describe that. You know what I mean? So it'd be a really cool point of difference.
Yeah, more like Mark of Nurgle Chaos Marines rather than actual Death Guard.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, and now of course from 2017. 2017 was the year of Space Marines, according to one of my colleagues at work. I would disagree with that. I would say it was the year of Nurgle. 2017 saw the release of loads of Nurgle units, and the Dark Imperium box set. Was that 2017? Was that last year? Dark Imperium? Yeah, it was too.
Yep, 2017.
Ages ago now. Yeah, 2017. You've got Dark Imperium with the basic Plague Marines and then the Death Guard Codex and more Plague Marines. And I bought recently the Plague Marine box set for extra Plague Marine. And that box set is brilliant. There's a couple of bones I'd pick with it, which we can come back to later.
Later, but I'm interested because I actually haven't picked up a set of any extra Plague Marines yet. I've still only got the Dark Imperium ones.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We'll come back to that one later when we're actually talking about the unit then. So much stuff to go through today. So yeah, that's a history of the miniatures. They really evolved from being this basic miniature to what they're doing in CAD now. I believe they use CAD or similar to create their miniatures, and it's just brilliant what they're coming up with. Some of the poses, the Poxwalkers are pretty I don't know, Davey. I think my friend at work pointed this one out to me, and what I didn't realize, he's got that weird arm happening. But what I didn't realize is it's a third arm that's mutated. So he's actually got 3 arms. So it kind of makes sense that his shoulder's been pushed really right up out of joint. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, I think that's pretty much the history of Death Guard done.
A brief. Yeah, there's so much more that we haven't dived into, but that's...
Yeah. Pardon?
Sorry, that's what I was just saying. That's like a quick rundown of where they came from, who they are, and where they are now.
Yeah. All right. What shall we jump into? Shall we jump into the units?
I think so. I think if we just pick obviously we're not going to go through every single unit. There's Right, I mean we could.
We'll take ages. No, because we'll just get stuck to it. We'll pick out some of the good ones.
What we'll do?
Some of the bad ones.
Right, we'll ignore anything that's also generic chaos. So
yeah.
No Chaos Lords, no Chaos Sorcerers.
Yeah, no Hellbrutes, no
Hellbrutes. I mean,
we all know about Hellbrutes. They've been around for ages. They're dreadnoughts.
We could quickly discuss Hellbrutes, I suppose, maybe. But anyway,
nah, bugger it.
And we will mention demons, and we will mention Chaos Possessed. They're not great. They still suck. Chosen. Chosen are Chosen even in the Death Guard book? I actually forgot.
No, I don't believe they are.
No, I was just going to say actually, I don't think Chosen are actually in the book.
I don't have the Chaos Codex.
No, neither do I. I never bothered.
No.
I wanted to just for the background, but then I thought as Death Guard again their own, there was no point.
Now let's just jump straight in. I actually will mention the Chaos Lords in passing though.
Okay.
I may do that. But let's just jump straight into some of the specific stuff.
Okay.
Let's start on page 71, which is actually
I'm sorry.
No, wait. 70.
Because that's got
that's next to...
Yeah, no, it's next.
Okay. Are you going to start with Demon Prince or?
Yeah. So this is.
Or do we want to go through special rules?
Well, we'll just talk about them. We'll talk about them.
Okay.
Oh, right. Sorry, special rules. Oh, wait,
yeah. Lords of the Plague Planet, page 68.
Boom.
If you're at home following us with your Death Guard Codex, page 68.
Open to page 68.
And we shall open the book to page 68, verse 5, chapter 5.
And Mortarion said...
And Mortarion saith unto the world...
Rejoice! Actually, do you know what? Rejoice, we bring you the bountiful gifts of Nurgle, feculent blessings of which you are singularly unworthy. Yet our master is generous and forgiving, and so for all the lack of gratitude, he will grace you with them nonetheless. Breathe deep, you throne-worshipping worms. Feel the power of a true god.
So saith nauseous rockbone plague surgeon. Amen. Alrighty. So, got a few rules on this page which are basic and cover the whole army. Death to the false emperor. So, which is pretty handy.
Oh, it's the chaos rule, isn't it? It's
yeah.
Every time you roll a 6 in the fight phase to hit, you get to roll an extra attack. These attacks do not generate any extra attacks.
Yeah, only against Imperium units though.
So, I forgot
that should be noted. But hey, most of the armies you're going to fight are Imperium armies, like good 50% of them in a tournament or any game. So, why not take advantage of it?
Exactly. It's more remembering to do it than actually. The fact, it's a good rule. It's just remembering to do it. Because quite often I roll the dice and then I'm just like, oh, that's like however many hits, just roll. And I was like, oh, no.
Oh, no, I forgot. Death to the False Emperor, which is going to be really handy because my mate is doing Custodes. So I actually really need to remember that. Because you want to kill those fucking sons of bitches. Because they got 3 wounds each. They're hitting on 2s. They're fucking nuts. So if you're not taking advantage of Death to the False Emperor against Custodes, more the fool you.
I don't actually think Custodes should be an issue with Death Guard. And there's a reason.
No, okay, cool. We'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that later. Anyway.
Yeah.
Next rule is the Nurgle rule.
Yeah, it's always been there. It's awesome.
It's the rule of Nurgle.
It's disgustingly resilient. Sorry.
That's all right.
You do it.
No, it's fine. You've done it.
I don't know.
No, you do it now. Whatever.
Oh. Disgustingly resilient.
Yeah. This is just going to be me and Tim just reading the book out between us. We'll just do one word at a time right now.
Okay, let's do that. You go.
Each
time
a
model
with
this
ability.
I'm losing my shit.
Right, anyway, each time a model with this ability loses a wound, on a 5+, this model does not take a wound. And that's any wound. So mortal wounds, normal wounds. Is it mortal?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, mortal wounds. Yeah. It ignores mortal. It negates mortal wounds. It's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I was just getting confused then. I was like, mortal wounds, is that an Age of Sigmar thing, or is that the 40k? It's both now, isn't it?
No, both. It's both.
Yeah, I forgot. I just got confused. So yeah, it's just great. It keeps so many models alive if you're not me. Dice hate me.
Yeah.
Right, you can do the next one.
Okay, so Plague Weapon, another rule that's always been there with the Death Guard is Plague Weapon. Reroll wounds of 1 for a weapon with this ability. And to be honest, that's most freaking weapons, especially the Plague Knives, Plague Swords, etc., that the Plague Marines wield. So it's really handy. So again, you want to be re-rolling that sucker. It's really cool. So yes, there you go.
And there's some decent weapons with that plague ability that.
I think there's some bonuses to it as well, aren't there?
There are a few, like obviously that you can get the one that there's a few buffs and stuff that make that.
Yeah.
So we'll come to that as we go through. And the last one is just a general chaos one. It's the demonic ritual, so I'm not going to bother. It's just something demon units. And I don't think I'll ever, unless no, I never do. Even if I took them in the list, I don't think I would be summoning them.
No.
Too risky. It's not worth it. So yeah, so that's your general special rules for the army. Obviously, there's a war gear list, which is quite a small war gear list, to be fair, compared to some armies or some codexes that I've got.
Yeah, I find that it only really applies to your champions and your chaos lords.
Yeah, this is true, but I say limited. It's not really. There's 4 combi weapons, which is standard anyway. There's 7 melee weapons, and there's 7 Terminator melee weapons, and it's basically the same list in both. So it's the Terminator melee weapons and the melee weapons are exactly the same as each other. So I don't really know. I don't know what to say. It is what it is.
It's there. Most of the weapon options really come into their own in the individual unit choices.
Yeah.
So, and that's the way every codex is going. I think if I go to my AdMech codex, the Wargear list, it's awesome filth. I'm going to combine them with my Death Guard. So just think about it: Castellan robots, Dark Imperium, and Dark Mechanicus, and Defenders of the Forge World. Where's their Wargear list? Oh, there it is in the bottom. They've only got, tiny little box. Carapace weapons with 3 choices. Special weapons, 3 choices. Pistol weapons, 3 choices. Melee weapons, 3 choices. So, 12 choices.
It's quite limited. It is quite limited.
Yeah. That's just the way all the decks are going.
Which I think is nice. It gives. I feel like with all of it, it's a bit more specialized. Sort of. Well, it's giving the units, because it puts the options in the units rather than as a general thing. It gives you the units more of a reason to be there. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So to the units now. So the first one is one that I've pretty much is a auto include now for me in various forms.
That's interesting.
Maybe not an auto include, but certainly I find it is in most of my lists at the moment. And that is the good old Demon Prince of Nurgle. I've got the Forge World Demon Prince model, which I don't ever use his rules because I can't decide if they're better or worse. Like, I think he's worse than a normal Demon Prince because he's more points and he doesn't seem to do as much. But so I just want to use him as a proxy for a Demon Prince. But you've got.
So you don't run them with wings, or?
Sometimes I do, but it's just a proxy. What I do is I class the big tank on his back as a jetpack.
It's one of those water jetpacks you see down
Oh
the
my
Gold
god!
Coast.
Yes.
If you come to Australia, you have to do that.
Convert that.
They've got those water jetpacks down on the Gold Coast. They're awesome.
Yeah, I saw my friend do it. He literally just took a nosedive off it. It was hilarious. He did it in Bali. He just
oh no!
He's got this video of him going along, and then he goes up and straight down. It's hilarious. So Demon Prince of Nurgle, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, allows rerolls on ones. Reroll hit rolls on ones. Friendly Death Guard and Nurgle Demon units within 6 inches of this model,
which is really handy. It is really handy.
Exactly. He's got 8 wounds. He's only toughness 6. I say only toughness 6. Toughness 6 is amazing, but toughness 7 is would have been better.
Yeah.
Is there a way of making
Demon Prince of Nurgle? I mean,
you can make him toughness 7 though, can't you? There is a thing that gives you +1 toughness. Or am I making this up?
Might be. I think you might be making it up.
That might be.
There's not too much stuff anymore that gives you +1 toughness.
No, I'm sure
used to be the mark of
I'm sure. I know, but I'm sure there's a warlord trait that gives you +1 toughness. Hulking physique.
Hulking physique. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
I do that. So that makes your plasma weapons wound on 4s.
Yeah, that's handy. Unless you're going to overcharge them, which nobody seems to want to do these days.
It's funny that. Unless you've got Guilliman stood next to you or something.
Yeah. In which case, expect to see 15 fucking Hellblasters.
Exactly.
Fuck's sake. Fuck you, Guilliman.
We're not here to talk about it.
We hate you. Hate you. I'm gonna channel my inner Anakin. I hate you.
No.
High ground. I can just see Gilliman saying that too. I have the high ground.
And Mortarian's just like, yeah, but I can fly.
And so can Magnus. I think every demon Primarch can fly.
Do we think Fulgrim can fly in like snake form?
Yes, he has. Yes, he has wings.
No, I can't remember. I can't remember the last time I saw an image.
Yeah, I've got a codex. Sorry, not codex. I've got the Horus Heresy images of the Horus Heresy, like the original art book that came out with the card set. So, like, I've got a picture. I'll show you later, but he does have wings.
Okay, so he's basically Marathi then, pretty much.
Yeah.
That new Marathi.
So,
I'm getting off topic then. No, I'm off topic.
Yeah.
I'm staying on topic. Marathi's awesome.
That miniature is so sexy. I just thought Fulgrim. Got to do naked chick transsexual Fulgrim. That's awesome.
Conversion. Right, so Demon Prince, I love them. They're great. I just, for me, they're in my list most of the time, unless I really skimp on points or do something very specific. But I've normally got a Demon Prince stood with 3 things that we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, go Demon Prince. Obviously, he's also got psychic powers, which is always helpful.
Yeah, and they're pretty cheap for what he is. Like, I think he's 170 points with wings.
Yes.
100. His wings aren't in the codex. It's in update.
I've literally drawn in my book all the like updated.
Oh, cool! Yeah.
Because I just couldn't be bothered to keep flicking through. So
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, he's 170 with wings.
Yeah, 170 with wings, and then where is it? Did he get a change in the? No, he didn't. So he'll be whatever his points are normally.
Oh, and it's plus 10 points for the weapon, as like for your basically because you get.
Yeah, as if you're not going to take 2 sets of Malefic Talons.
Oh, every time.
Like, so the Demon Axe is +1.
The Demon Axe is +1 strength, -3
Yeah, that
AP.
is handy. And it does do 3 damage automatically. But you subtract 1 to hit. So you're hitting on 3s instead of 2s.
And you're only rerolling 1s, not the 2s. And I always roll 2s. If it's ever a 3-up with a 1-up reroll, sorry, with a, you know what I mean. If it's ever a 3-up that I need and I roll and I get to reroll 1s, I always roll 2s, guaranteed.
Yeah. Oh, but I mean, you look at Malefic Talons, right? He's already strength 7, so most vehicles are toughness 7, right? Yeah. So, like, you go up with Malefic Talons, he's going to be wounding them on 4s. Then he's got 4 attacks. Does he get +1 attack because he's got 2 sets?
So you get.
Yep. Hang on. Here you go. Yep. Each time a model with Malefic Talons fight, it can make 1 additional attack with this weapon. A model armed with 2 sets of Malefic Talons can make 3 additional attacks with them instead.
Yes.
So, yeah, 7 attacks. Strength 7, -2 to their AP, so they drop to like a 5+ save if you're a Space Marine, for example, and then you're doing 2 damage each. You're butchering Primaris squads in close combat.
Definitely.
And his profile doesn't drop.
He's an elite unit killer. Or he can pick on weak vehicles, or he can pick on like Terminators and stuff. I mean, the only thing, if you have the axe and a Talon, you get your 4 attacks with the axe and you get your 1 attack with a Talon, which is slightly better against vehicles because you'll be wounding vehicles on 3s. Well, some vehicles on 3s. Yeah. But I guess I have to admit, I've never actually run the axe. I've only ever run it with double Talons. But I can see the axe, where the axe would be useful if you're fighting someone with a lot of vehicles, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't know. How often do you come against heaps and heaps of vehicles?
I don't. Not with the people.
You don't. Even in tournament, like I went to CanCon and I played, 8 matches over 3 days, and even then, there aren't that. The vehicle heavy armies are ones like your Dark Eldar or Drukhari now, and they don't have high toughness vehicles.
Yeah, that's fair.
you know, a lot of the vehicles are transports and stuff like that. So yeah, and like you said, he's a psycho. He can manifest one psychic power as he can drop Smite or another. I think there's another Nurgle one. I haven't really gone through the psychic powers yet, but yeah, you know, dropping mortal wounds as well.
I normally run him with the one that gives me. I've forgotten what everything does. It's been like 2 weeks since I've used them.
They're doing better than me.
What do I normally give him? I think I normally give him Miasma of Pestilence.
Ooh, yep.
Which is the
yeah,
minus on
subtract one to hit. Yeah, that's handy.
Yeah, I normally give that to him and at least like someone else, but just because having the ability to just pop it up where I need it is always helpful. Yeah, because I do, because again, for what I use them on, for what I normally run him alongside, I usually use it on them. So yeah, so that's the Demon Prince of Nurgle. So they're slightly tougher than your normal Demon Princes, I think.
Yeah. Well, I have the Mark of Nurgle automatically.
Yeah, exactly. And they're just cooler because they're Nurgle. So there.
Yeah, and it is an awesome miniature. I used to have it. And yeah, it's a lovely miniature.
Go on then. Next.
Alrighty. Typhus.
See, now, before we start, there's no point asking me about Typhus because I've never run him and I don't own him yet.
Okay, I used to run him in 5th edition when he created Plague Zombies. I loved him back then, and I love him now. I would run him in an army. He boosts your Poxwalkers, giving them +1 strength, +1 toughness within 7 inches. He's obviously a Psyker. He's always been a Psyker, but he can manifest 2 psychic powers in the psychic phase, and he knows Smite. Also, he has the ability Nurgle's Gift. Which I think all Lords of Contagion have that ability. So for each enemy unit that is within 1 inch of the affected friendly units, at the start of your turn on a 4+, that enemy unit suffers a mortal wound. So yeah, just a single mortal wound here and there never goes astray. He can teleport in. He now has Cataphractii armor, so he gets a 4+ invulnerable save, but he halves the advance move that he makes. He has the Destroy Hive, that always hits on a 5+, even when firing Overwatch, which is always handy. It's a pretty decent weapon. I mean, it's pistol, 2d6 pistol, hits on 5+, strength 4, neg 3 to your armor, and does 1 damage. So it's pretty nasty. If you're going to assault him, you got to go through that hive. So that's hitting on 5+ with 2d6. If you roll decent, let's say 7 as an average, it's the most likely number to roll. So 7 shots hitting on 5s. It's about 2 or 3 hits you're going to get in there.
Yeah, and then wounds on. Did you say wounds on?
Well, strength 4, so toughness 4, so yeah, -3 AP. So you probably get like 1 or 2 wounds before they even get in. Probably get 1 or 2 wounds before they get in there.
And then bear in mind, if they don't kill him in combat, next turn you can still shoot it again into combat.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty damn handy. Then you got Blight Grenades. Now this is where his weapons ballistic skill of 2+ comes in, throwing his Blight Grenades at 6 inches. So that's the same as everybody else. Typhus was interestingly one of the first Terminators to actually have access to grenades. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, 4th and 5th edition, no Terminators had grenades, and Typhus was one of the first. So yeah, and he's got a solid stat line through there. It's the looks to me that it's the same. Yep, exactly the same as the Lord of Contagion. So he's pretty tough. Strength 4, toughness 5, 6 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9. Man Reaper is a brutal weapon. Used to be a the Man Reaper used to be his special weapon. Like it was like a, I don't know, like Nurgle's equivalent of Draken or whatever Abaddon runs around with, like a demon weapon. But now it's a fairly generic weapon. It's not even a demon weapon anymore. So yeah, plague weapon plus 3 strength, neg 3 AP, does 3 damage. Hey, that's pretty freaking cool. And you're rerolling wounds of 1, so and you're going to be hitting at strength 7. So can't complain about that.
No, you definitely can't. And obviously his is master crafted, so it does actually 3. His does the straight 3 damage, whereas the normal Man Reaper does D3 damage.
Oh yes.
So
yeah, that's
where
cool.
that's where Typhus is slightly better, isn't it? He he gets that. So I'm trying to think. There's another rule with Typhus. I'm just trying to think what it is. But
he's a Psyker, Death Guard.
Oh yeah. So in terms of Psyker, obviously I would give him the Putrescent Vitality spell, Psychic Power, which is the one that gives everyone +1 strength and +1 toughness. Because then your big blob of Poxwalkers then becomes toughness 5, strength 5.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why wouldn't you do that? Yeah, he's pretty brutal. And then dropping smites.
Can he cast 2? Yeah, he can cast 2.
Yeah, he casts 2, so he's pretty cool.
So he's basically just a really good Lord of Contagion.
I've got more of a place for him in my armies than I do the Lord of Contagion.
I don't, apart from when I first got the Dark Imperium set, I don't think I've really used the Lord of Contagion since.
Yeah.
Because he's...
I don't know where to fit him.
I don't think there's a place for him.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I've got a 1,000 point game against my mate, and he's going to be playing, Jarrett's going to be playing his Custodes. I'm going to be playing Death Guard. I'm going to be using what I've got. So I'm going to be using the Lord of Contagion. He's cheap. Like, for what he is, he's cheap. He's 130 points with the Plague Reaper.
Yeah.
Which is a brutal weapon. Like, it's +2 strength, neg 3 AP, and does 3 damage. So I would definitely take that over a Man Reaper. It's got the Plague Weapon rule. He gets a 4+ Invo. He's got the Nurgle's Gift ability, so it's more mortal wounds. But yeah, basically the way I'm going to run him is just to drop him into Jarrett's lines. Hopefully Jarrett isn't listening. Drop him into Jarrett's lines and hopefully cause some sort of havoc. But I think Typhus would be much more successful in that role than a Lord of Contagion.
Yeah, I think the thing with Typhus is if you're running Typhus, it means you're running Poxwalkers, which means you want Typhus with the Poxwalkers walking along the battlefield.
Yeah.
Which means you probably want one of the Bell Ringer dudes, which we'll get to in a minute. I've forgotten their names.
Yeah.
But, to help them get there faster.
Yeah.
And I think that's the downside of Typhus, is if you're running Typhus, I feel like there's no point in running him unless you're running him like that.
I don't know, Davey.
Otherwise, you're just not making use of his special abilities.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
His main special ability.
Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, yeah, I don't know. At the same time, though, I kind of agree with that, and I kind of don't agree with that. I think you could drop Typhus in, throw Typhus in as a cat amongst the pigeons into the main battle line, and most people are going to freak the fuck out, and that gives your army time to move up, take the middle ground, and just beat the living snot at them from the middle ground while Typhus runs amok. Hey, cops a few shots or he gets hit, whatever. Hey, look, I've got Mortarion as well bearing down on you. What are you going to do, you son of a bitch?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you've got, yeah. How many points is Typhus? Just that interest.
175. So it's not like you're wasting your entire points.
No, he's not actually that many more points than a normal one.
No. So it's, it's like he drops in, he casts Smite, he casts... how annoying would this be? Okay, first turn or second turn, all right, you drop him in. Where's the other? Is it Curse of the Leper? No. Is it? I mean, you could, you could drop Plague Wind, maybe. Plague Wind, closest visible. Oh, there you go. Depending on which unit, like if it was a low toughness unit or low toughness unit or another unit, you go Plague Wind or Curse of the Leper.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you drop a Smite on them as well. So that's a few mortal wounds in there, and then. You charge in and then you throwing Nurgle's Gift around. Then you're, what is it? Then you got your Destroyer Hive or whatever.
Don't forget as well, if Typhus is your warlord, he might not be. Using him the way you're saying, he probably
No, I wouldn't use him as my warlord the way I'm saying, but go on.
But if he is, he does get the Living Plague warlord trait, which is roll a dice for each enemy unit within 3 at the start of the fight phase, and on a 4 they suffer a mortal wound. Which is also combines with Nurgle's Gift. So you basically got you're basically rolling 2 dice.
Yeah.
And on a 4 up, they're suffering mortal wounds. That's like
Which is pretty decent. Like that's 2 mortal wounds, like potential mortal wounds you can be throwing out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. If I was using Typhus, I still think I'd be using Poxwalkers, but the last time I saw Typhus on the battlefield was against me, and I killed him with an Orc Knob with a Power Claw. I chopped him in half. Yeah. I felt bad about it, obviously, because blessings be to Nurgle. But I was playing Orcs at the time, and I was having fun, and I still lost the game, so that serves me right. But I did kill Typhus with an Orc Knob with a Power Claw. So
yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, so I think that covers that. I mean, that basically covers Typhus and the Lord of Contagion. I don't think we really need to talk about the Lord of Contagion.
No,
we've already done with it. The next page is 2 Chaos Lords, 2 Sorcerers. Don't need to worry about those.
Skip that
because I don't. I mean, just very very quickly, we won't talk about them like individually, but. Would you bother running any of those 4 when you've got like the more specific Death Guard stuff?
Look, I'd run a Sorcerer if it was from the Chaos Space Marine Codex, because Warp Time plus Mortarion. That said, Chaos Lord I would run, just as a really cheap option, and you keep them up the back with your Plague Crawlers, the mortal ones.
Yeah, okay.
And you're re-rolling ones to hit.
Fair. That is fair.
That would be the only reason I run a Chaos Lord. A really cheap option for HQ, and reroll 1s for Death Guard units within 6.
So you think just naked Chaos Lord, just
yeah, pretty much. He might have a combi plasma or some shit, but it wouldn't be anything fancy.
I think if I'm keeping them at the back, you would probably have nothing. So what is it? Chainsaw, bolt pistol. Then they're free, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Bolt pistol. Yeah. Chainsaw, bolt pistol, done.
74 points just to basically for the rerolls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's expensive for rerolls.
Not really. I think actually that's not bad. If you're
bad.
If you're running the oh crap, what's the heavy support attachment?
The Plague Crawler.
Well, no, I'm just thinking, what's the actual detachment called? It's not Vanguard.
Oh, heavy. Yeah, I know the one.
Spearhead.
Spearhead. Yeah.
So if you've got a Spearhead detachment and you've got, you just take your Chaos Lord and your 3 Plague Burst Crawlers.
Yeah.
You're getting your command point, and you're getting, you know, a decent 5.
Rerolling 1s as well for something that hits on 4s.
So, yeah, I can. All right, yeah, I see a place for him.
Yeah, but yeah, sorcerers. No, I wouldn't.
Nah, sorcerers. I just feel like the malignant. Actually, how many points is sorcerers?
Yeah, I'd have to run a sorcerer from the Chaos Codex because warp time.
Of course, yeah. But then you're not. Yeah. So yeah, fair enough.
No, you can run them in the same thing. It won't be a Death Guard unit though.
Yeah. No.
Does Death Guard have any of those fancy rules where, like, if you don't have your detachment isn't full of Death Guard, then it's not a Death Guard detachment?
Well, yeah, but the sorcerers out of this book are Death Guard, though, aren't they?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the ones from the Chaos Codex.
I don't think you can.
Inexorable Advance. Sorry, going to page 96. I'm jumping ahead. Scions and Mortarion. Here we go. Plague Host. If your army is Battleforge, all troop units in Death Guard detachments gain this ability. Such a unit is within range of an objective marker. Okay, yeah. All infantry and Hellbrute. If your army is Battleforge, all infantry and Hellbrute units in Death Guard detachments gain this ability. Such units do not suffer penalty.
Can move and fire heavy
weapons. It just says Death Guard detachments. Does that mean every unit has to be Death Guard, or?
Yeah. If you took a Chaos Sorcerer from the Chaos book and
they're not
that wouldn't. It would be. It would.
What you could do. What you could do.
His...
What you could do though is you could do something like Supreme Command, Mortarion, Malignant Plague Caster, Sorcerer from the Chaos Codex, and Great Unclean One. And then the other detachment would be Death Guard detachment, so they would get Inexorable Advance.
Yeah. You could do that. I probably wouldn't, but you could.
Yeah. That's the way I see around it.
I'm still not. I'm one of those people that I like playing like pure lists as much.
Yeah, me too. I gotta agree. I do like playing pure lists.
I don't mind bringing in like Chaos Demons because that still fits the fluff, and that's me just being like, I'm just like, yeah, I like playing pure lists, but I'll bring in some demons because they're Nurgle too.
I'm thinking more purely in line with like ITC hardcore tournament playing. Like, how would you do that if you were going to do that? So even
there's definitely
I played against a bloke like that. He was running Mechanicus and he had about 4 or 5 different Forge Worlds in a single army, and geez, it was confusing and trying to keep up with it. And he just did that because he wanted the stratagems from each, and he didn't want to use the special rules. Fair play to him, but yeah, it's not my style.
It's not mine either. I just look, this is my army. This is what it does. I can't be bothered to like spend 30 minutes before a game explaining each unit to you. Like,
and the other thing is, just to run that sorcerer, you're paying $70 for 1 codex.
Yeah.
For 1 unit, $70 for 1 codex for you.
You enjoy that Australian?
Yeah, Australia tax.
Games Workshop. You Australians.
Yeah, it's called the Australia tax. It happens with everything because we're so far away. They charge us a shit ton of money just to send it here, just for the pleasure.
What it realistically means is Matt buys all of Tim's goodies and posts them to him.
That's right.
Screw you, Games Workshop.
Actually, I've got to admit, all my Death Guard stuff,
I know
apart
you,
from
you have bought all of that.
I've bought a lot of it at my local GW. It's yeah, so I've been pretty good with it. That said, what is it? The Dark Imperium starter Death Guard army, though I did get secondhand through a mate of mine. So that's probably the best way to go with that, especially if you already own the rule book.
Yay!
Yay! Alrighty, Malignant Plaguecaster. This is the sorcery we do want to talk about.
I'll take this one. I got this.
Yep.
Because I normally run 2 of these. Wow.
2? Sweet.
Sometimes as well. So he's pretty basic Space Marine stat line. So 5 move because Nurgle slow. 3 up ballistic skill, 3 up weapon skill, strength 4, toughness 5 because Nurgle, 4 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 8, save 3 up. So fairly standard. You've got your slightly lower movement, slightly higher toughness. Go Nurgle. He has a corrupted staff, which is actually a decent weapon. Like he's not actually a slouch in close combat. I fought a Khorne Lord on Juggernaut with a Malignant Plaguecaster. I didn't kill him, but he didn't kill me. And I actually wounded him, and he didn't wound me.
That's pretty sweet.
I know. He did. The next round, I mean, I did die, but I fought a Khorne Lord on Juggernaut that charged me to a standstill. And I actually caused more wounds than he did in the first round of combat. Mostly due to disgustingly resilient, but...
Yeah.
So
what surprises me is that corrupted stuff isn't a plague weapon.
Yes, I know, which is a bit weird. That's actually... yeah. But anyway, it's strength +2, which means it's strength 6, which is decent. AP -1, which is, it's nice to have the AP -1. And it's D3 damage. So
you look at main Space Marines, you're going to 4-up, and they hate that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's D3 damage repeated. He's not bad. He's wounding Terminators on 3s.
He got 3 attacks too. That's pretty decent.
He can kill 3 Terminators a turn, and without a huge problem.
Fuck that. He's got the potential to down a couple of Custodes a turn.
Mate, get into that. Right, so his other special rule, and this is why I would choose these over Sorcerers every time. Each time a model successfully manifests a psychic power, the psychic test of 7 or more, the nearest enemy unit suffers a mortal wound. I'm getting to this against...
That's awesome.
I'm going to get to the Custodes thing in a minute. I'll do it. I might do it after this. So... just instant mortal wound because you basically made a psychic test. So you smite a unit. So you get aggressive. These are what I call aggressive sorcerers. You want them up close. And a lot of sorcerers for other armies, they're hiding behind a unit. Obviously, your Plaguecaster wants to be behind a unit ideally, but it doesn't matter if he gets a bit closer to the enemy because you want to be within 7 of something so that when you cast that spell, bam, there's a mortal wound. Bam, there's a mortal wound. Bam, there's a mortal wound. And he can cast 2 powers a turn, so that's 2 mortal wounds a turn.
Oh, fuck! That's nasty shit. Yeah.
Potentially, right, you go... I'm going to cast... Right, so say you go all-out aggressive. You give him Plague Wind. You give him... probably... No, sorry, Curse of the Leper. Curse of the Leper.
Yeah.
That's better. I mean, actually, depends if you're playing a Horde army. So say you're playing Custodes, you give him Curse of the Leper, and you give him probably...
Because what are Custodes? Are they still toughness 4?
I actually don't know. I don't know. My friend is building an army of them, but I don't know. So I would say that you give him probably Putrescent Vitality to help when the Custodes hit back, and you give him Curse of the Leper. So... You come in, you hit Curse of the Leper, and you roll your 7 dice, and hopefully there's a couple mortal wounds. 7 dice, if it's 4 up or whether it's 5 up, it exceeds the toughness characteristic. So hopefully they're only toughness 4 still, which means,
toughness 5.
In that,
I'd probably go the other one, do
Plague wounds.
mortal wounds on 6s.
Well, it'll be the same. So it depends.
Oh no, just smite.
Yeah, but you can't keep smiting.
Yeah, you can. You just cost +1.
Yeah, I know, but does that then become worse? Well, actually, no, it doesn't really.
No, it doesn't.
I don't know. Curse of the Leper, 7 dice. It's going to be 1 or 2 more wounds.
Yeah,
which
true.
is like the same average as smite. So
yeah, true. I'll just do both.
Well, it's not as good as Plague Wind's worse because Plague Wind is one dice for every model, and Custodians only have like 3 models in a unit.
3 models. So yeah.
So
Curse of the Leper.
I would go Curse of the Leper, which is cast on a 7. So there's an instant mortal wound because you've cast it on a 7. Plus, you then get 7 dice to cause potential 1 or 2 extra mortal wounds. Then you hit Smite, which is cast on a 5, which is D3 mortal wounds. But then if you cast it on a 7 or more, it's an extra mortal wound. So potentially you've got, I mean, say you just actually completely spiked the dice and you roll 7 6s. That would be 7 plus 1.
That'd be amazing.
9. You could do 12 mortal wounds with a smite and a Curse of the Leper, and as long as you cast them both on 7+. Obviously, that isn't going to happen, but it probably has happened to someone somewhere. And then, if just in case, you could get a bit more defensive. If you wanted to be a bit more defensive, you could do something like Stress and Vitality or Gift of Contagion. And you still, if you successfully cast them on a 7, you're still hitting them with a mortal wound. And from what I've read and seen of Custodians, mortal wounds are their enemy.
Yeah.
And the Death Guard book has a lot of ways of dishing out mortal wounds. Maybe only 1 or 2 here or there, but they soon add up.
Yeah.
So this is why I think Death Guard versus Custodians shouldn't in theory be a problem unless you let them hit you too hard early on.
Oh, let them get into combat, you're fucked. If they get into close combat, you're fucked.
So basically, Malignant Plaguecasters, they're A-OK in my book. And they're only 110.
110 points, yeah. All their weapons are 0.
Yeah, so 110 points straight up. So there are a couple more points than a sorcerer, but I'd take them.
They're brilliant
every time. So, and I've got 2 of them painted up, and so yeah.
Sweet.
Yes. Right, this is your next section. You can chat about this for a while.
Ooh, Plague Marines, my favorite unit in the whole Codex because they're Plague Marines.
They are the main unit of the Codex.
Okay, so we'll go through. So the only difference between a champion and a marine is they've got +1 attack, +1 leadership. So let's look into it. Movement 5, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 5, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 7, 3+ save. Alrighty. So you can have. Oh, I love this. You can have one plague champion and 4 marines in a basic unit with 5. You can add 2 for +3 power rating, or you're up to 20 in the end. But I just like that you can just add 2 for +3 power rating if you're using power rating armies. I don't usually, but I know some of my mates do. So yeah, that's pretty nice little thing, getting them up to 7 Plague Marines. So yeah, they've got a lot of really cool options for their unit. Plague Champion can replace his Plague Knife with a Plague Sword. He can replace his Bolt Gun with a Bolt Pistol, Plasma Pistol, or here's the real kicker, a Plasma Gun. And the Plague Champion may take a Power Fist. Up to 2 Plague Marines can replace their Bolt Gun with a Plague Spear, a Plague Belcher, a Plague Blight Launcher, a Melter Gun, or a Plasma Gun. So that's 3 Plasma Guns for a 5-man unit, which is pretty freaking awesome. Up to any Plague Marine can replace their Bolt Gun with either a Bubotic Axe or a second Plague Knife. Up to 2 Plague Marines can each replace their Bolt Gun with a Mace of Contagion and a Bubotic Axe. Up to 2 Plague Marines can each replace their Bolt Gun with a Great Plague Cleaver or Flail of Corruption. And 1 Plague Marine with a Bolt Gun or with 2 Plague Knives can also take an Icon of Despair. So the Icon of Despair, units that are within 6 inches of the enemy must subtract 1 from their leadership characteristic, which is always handy for that end of combat morale check, or that morale check at the end of the turn. And they're vectors of death and disease. A Plague Marine armed with 2 Plague Knives, a Plague Knife, and a Bubotic Axe, or a Mace of Contagion and a Bubotic Axe has an attacks characteristic of 2 instead of 1. So they're really a versatile unit. Like, you can make them up as a ranged unit, medium range unit, or you can have them as a close combat unit. And they're going to be nasty either way. Some of my favorite, I won't go through all the weapons because some of them we already know and love, like the plasma weapon, plasma gun, and the multi-gun. But some of my new favorites are the Blight Launcher. With a range of 24 inches, Assault 2, they're Strength 6, Neg 2 AP, and do D3 damage. Plus, they're a Plague weapon, so you're re-rolling those 1s to wound. Where else? So they've got a couple of different weapons that automatically hit. So the Plague Belcher, which is Assault D6, or the Plague Spear, which is Heavy D6. Plague Spear is a bit nastier. It does Strength 5, Neg 1 AP. If I'm going to take one or the other, I'm going to take the Spear over the Belcher. Because, I mean, you're automatically hitting. You don't have to worry about those negatives. Although you can't move the advanced distance and fire a heavy weapon.
You could potentially run and spray the belchers.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess the other different flamethrower weapons is, I believe they're +1 inch from the looks of it.
Yeah, they've got
9 inches.
9 inch range instead of an 8 inch range.
Yeah, that's always very handy. The melee weapons I'm a big fan of. I love the Bubotic Axes. For 5 points, you get +1 strength, Neg 2 strength, 1 damage Plague weapon. The Flail of Corruption is my favorite. You can only have 2 of them in a unit, but they're +2 strength, Neg 2 to armor, and do 2 damage each. And then on top of that, you make D3 hits roll for each attack with this weapon instead of 1. And so you're doing D3. If you got 2 of them in a squad, you're doing 2d3 attacks. And then excess damage from this weapon is not lost. Instead, keep allocating damage to another model in the target unit until either all damage has been allocated or the unit has been destroyed. So that's pretty awesome. There aren't too many. Yeah, there aren't. I think it's one of the only weapons outside of Mortal Wounds that never loses the wounds that are allocated, which is what makes it so awesome. So, you know, if you're running a close combat squad of Plague Marines, you're going to be running up against infantry and other units like that. So you're going to be running the Flail of Corruption, to be honest. You're not going to be running up to vehicles and stuff like that. Let other shit take out the vehicles. Use your Flail on infantry, be it heavy or light. You know, it doesn't matter. It's going to take them both out. Great Plague Cleaver, not too bad. It does D6 damage, and it doubles your strength, so strength 8 attacks and Neg 3 to your armor. So there's a very good against vehicles, but it's Neg 1 to hit, so that's a bit of a disadvantage.
Now, question.
Yeah.
So this whole close combat Plague Marine thing is very new.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've always had the Plague Knives.
Yeah.
But do you feel that by taking the close combat Plague Marine squad, yes, they've got some awesome weapons, but you're sort of losing out on the sort of Plague Marine bonus of being able to
rapid
fire at 18.
18.
Yeah, sort of heavy. Ignoring the heavy weapon penalties.
Yeah, I think
actually, yeah, but not that they've actually got any heavy weapons, but
no. I guess what you could do with it, instead of having them as purely close combat, is if you really wanted to, you could run like a large squad of 15 or 20. And as they got wounds or people run away, because let's face it, their leadership's pretty average and they've got nothing to re-roll their leadership. So they're very prone to leadership. So if you're taking large squads, as you take them away and the enemy's getting closer, maybe you do like half with close combat weapons and half with rapid fire. So as the enemy gets closer, you're taking away the rapid fire weapons slowly, and then when they finally get into combat, boom, you're hitting them with all these close combat attacks.
Fair.
But yeah, I can see what you're saying. I'd mix it up a little bit.
Yeah,
but
I haven't
smaller units are the way to go. I think from the lists I've been building, I tend to top out at about 7 Marines.
I've been running squads of 7. But
yeah,
basically what I normally do is, depending on what I'm trying to achieve, normally it's either 3 squads of 7, 2 of them with plasma and 1 of them with blight launchers.
Yeah.
That's mainly because of the models I have, though. It's not so much the fact that I don't want to try other stuff. It's that I haven't actually bought any of the extra Plague Marine box sets yet to build the close combat ones. And I do really want to try the close combat ones, but I also don't want to commit to building them before I've tried them.
Which brings me to my issues with the new box set.
Go for it.
I bought it to boost the number of Plague Marines, and I was pretty impressed with it. Although the new box sets, they aren't as mixy or matchy as the older ones. Like, it's a lot. I find it a little bit more difficult to cut and paste, say, close combat arms onto Marine B than it does Marine A. And you do follow the instructions a lot more. That said, my issue with it is you only get 1 of each special weapon, which includes like your flail and your great cleaver, but more importantly, your plasma gun. It would have been nice to have like 2 plasma guns, especially when you can run 3 of them in a squad. That said, you could always get you could always get the easy build ones. The easy build ones have a plasma gun strapped to the back on the champion.
Yeah, I've got 2 of them there.
Yeah, and convert him up. And you get a plasma gun in your
I fell off the chair.
Dark You're right.
No, sorry, I'm good. Carry on. I was leaning over.
You do get a plasma gun in the Dark Imperium box set. So, I mean, yeah, but it would have been nice to have 2. Just, yeah.
The champion from the easy build one. My lighting. Robert, there you go. You can sort of see the plasma.
Yeah, you can see the plasma gun on the back. So it was a bit disappointing. And the other thing I found disappointing is that you only get 2 bubotic axes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's one which is a throwback to an old axe they've had kicking around for ages. And then they've got a cooler one with like teeth for the instead of having your traditional chain axe metal teeth, it's actual bone teeth, which is really cool. And it's got slime and guts dripping off it, so it's pretty cool. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing, especially when like every miniature can have a bubotic axe if you wanted to for +5 points. It's expensive, but worth it.
Right, so have you got any of the Terminators yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so you're going to have the same issue.
Yeah.
Which is actually it's the issue I had with Terminators the Blight Lord Terminators. The Death Shroud, you get 3, and they're
the
is
Death
no
Shroud,
options.
they've all got a Man Reaper, they've all got Plague Spitters.
There is no options for them apart from the champion,
Yeah.
the second Plague Spitter. So if you struggle with that decision, you probably shouldn't be really playing this game. Yeah. So basically, the newer kits are so beautifully detailed and lovely, and they look incredibly disgusting, in a good way, obviously. But you're so limited to how you can put them together. Basically, each body has like the 2 options for it. So it's like, do you want to give it a special weapon, or do you want to give it your axe and combi bolter? And it's like, well, maybe I want to give this one a sword. It's like, no. This body is built for the axe. And I'm like, no. This body's having a sword. So with a bit of manipulation, yes, you can do it. But
exactly.
Far, they've made it more difficult than.
Yeah.
Like, I bought a tactical squad a little while ago because I just wanted to practice some painting, and I was like, oh, I can give them whatever I want. Like, this is great.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, whoa, wow, what's going on? I'm literally, I can give this guy a combi melter. This guy's got a plasma gun. This guy's got.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, I can put the arms in all these different positions, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And then I sort of thought back to the Plague Marines I've just built 20 of. They're all the Dark Imperium ones, by the way. Sorry, and the Blight Lord Terminators, and I'm like, I didn't really have that much choice. Like, I was guided by the book, which isn't a bad thing. Like, for people that are newer to the hobby, which obviously Death Guard, I think probably a lot of the players that are playing it are possibly newer hobbyists because they've picked up the Dark Imperium.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
They've gone, oh my god, look at these awesome Chaos models. Go away, crappy Space Marines. I'm in Chaos because they're obviously better.
Yeah.
And I think they are definitely newer modeler friendly in terms of the instructions and how they go together. But for people that have been doing it since they were 12,
old hands like us, yep.
God, that's 18 years ago.
Yeah, it's what I started playing back in the 90s. So yeah, it's like 20 something years ago.
Oh God, 18 years.
Where did it go? I've wasted my life.
Oh my God. What's like, I wonder how much money I've spent in 18 years. No, don't think about it. Oh God, I could have bought a house by now. That's not even a joke. I've ruined my life.
They don't call it plastic crack for nothing.
No, well, my first army was like Armageddon Steel Legions. It was all fucking metal.
Oh, man.
I love them so much. I've lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so
yeah,
they're definitely not as easy to sort of manipulate in the ways you want them to. If you want to do some cool conversions, you definitely can do it. And like, I'm not saying it's.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying it's like ridiculously hard or anything like that, but I've got one squad of Blight Lord Terminators. I'm probably going to pick up another one because they're probably one of my favorite units. But I do find I'm going to have to do a lot of cutting and sort of green stuffing on the second unit which is what's putting me off getting them straight away. Because I know I'm going to want them to look different. And
yeah,
I'm sort of like, I can't afford to get them yet because I don't want to put that much effort in just right now. I will, but not right now. So that's why I haven't got that second unit yet.
Yeah. I guess.
So I agree with what you're saying, basically, is what my point was.
I guess, you look back and you go, okay, original and still current Tactical Marine box. Original, still current Chaos Space Marine box. Mark 3 Power Armor for Horus Heresy / 40k. Plastic box. Mark 3 and 4 armor.
Yeah.
They brought out highly modifiable in terms of I can put whichever gun I want wherever I want. I can put whichever head I want wherever I want. I can put whichever body on whichever body I want. All the same. You know what I mean? But
Absolutely.
in terms of stances, they all look a bit same.
Yeah,
I can see why they've done it the way they've done it, because they have remarkably different poses to what they were previously doing. Yeah, sexy.
So these are actually the easy to build ones. This is the Chaos Lord retinue sort of one.
Yeah.
I've forgotten completely what they've called it, but
Felthius or something.
Felthius' cohort. That's it. So you've got one with
useless Lord of Contagion with Man Reaper instead of Plague Reaper, and a couple of Blight Lord Terminators is the correct term.
3 Blight Lord Terminators.
3. What do you get? Plague Belcher or Plague Spewer?
It's the heavy one, the Spewer.
Spewer.
Annoyingly though, so this is why I also need another set of Blight Lord Terminators, because I built 5 Blight Lord Terminators. One of them had a Plague Spewer. Then they brought the easy to build kit out, and a second one has a Plague Spewer. But I can't give a second one a Plague Spewer unless I've got 10. So I need 2 more.
Son of a bitch!
I need 2 more Blight Lord Terminators so that I can run a squad with 2 of these Plague Spewers.
Do you get autocannons in the basic set too? Or?
No, you do not.
Oh, son of a bitch!
At least that. Well, hang on. No, you definitely didn't. It was only the plague. It was like you got your plague weapon options, but you didn't get the You didn't get the.
Because I know we'll come to it, but I'm pretty sure. Can you? Yes, you can get the autocannon.
Nah, there's definitely. I'm almost. It was a while ago since I built it, but I'm 100% sure the autocannon was not in there. I might be wrong, but I'm certain I'm not.
Jeez.
People can correct me on that, but I'm sure there isn't an assault cannon in the Blight Lord box.
Yeah, you might be.
In fact,
I don't know.
Do you know what?
I feel like for my Terminators, I want to buy a box of Cataphracti armor Terminators.
Yeah.
And upgrade them with the Forge World kit.
It would look awesome. I'm not fussed with the assault cannon. It's like, what is it? 6 shots, strength 6.
Yeah, we'll come to it.
Yeah, but if you want it, you go for it. But
I'd be more inclined to put a Flail of Corruption in the unit.
Oh, mate, I've got a Flail of Corruption.
Yeah.
But now, so we'll get to it when we get to
We digress.
My friend messed up with his Flail. Well, he didn't mess up with the Flail of Corruption, but he did mess up with his list building. But we'll get to that. And then when he told me, I was like, "You cheating bastard!" And he was like, he was telling me how he like wiped out a unit, and I was just like, "You cheated." And he was like, "What?" And I was just like, "Yeah." And he was like, I did." And he was like, "Oh well." So, but we'll get to that in a minute. So that's Plague Marines covered. They are awesome. They are the main bane.
Yeah.
The main
unit.
Bone of your army. But
they're the unit you have to have in your army. Well, you don't have to have them because you got other troop choices.
But why
you'd
would
be
you play
stupid.
Death Guard?
But like, why would you be playing Death Guard and not running these guys? You know, even if you were running like Legion of the Damned, like my mate who loves Legion of the Damned, he used to run Legion of the Damned. If you were running Legion of the Damned, I'd still be taking Plague Marines.
Yeah,
even if it was just one unit of like overlords, like these guys have come in and taken over, like they're the ones inciting the rebellion. You know.
Plus, they look too cool not to take. Like
exactly.
I just
like look at these sons of bitches. They look freaking awesome.
Yeah, yours are looking sweet. But
here's a pleasure. Oh, I love this guy with the grenade. Granada. I throw a grenade at you, you fucker.
No, I have grenade too.
We throw grenades together. I love you, my brother.
That's how they talk. Actually, I'm guessing they got really jolly voices. I reckon they're like, "Hello, old bean."
Yeah, I reckon like half are serious and half are hello, man.
Half of them just mumble, and the other half are like court jesters. For me, the Plague Marines are why I wanted Death Guard, or part of the reason why I wanted Death Guard. So there was never any chance of me not having full Death Guard.
Now that
Plague Marines.
Like I've built quite a few up, and I'm starting to crack through a fair few of them painting. I'm really leaning towards just running Plague Marines as my troops and no Poxwalkers and other shit. You know, I've only been chucking like a squad of Poxwalkers in as like an objective holder, and that's cultists are actually cheaper for it. But I prefer. Yeah, but Poxwalkers are tougher.
Exactly. I prefer the Poxwalkers because it's always.
Oh wait, no, they're not. They're the same toughness, aren't they?
No, but they've got the 5-up invuln.
Yeah, they got the 5-up. Feeling no pain.
Yeah, feeling no pain. But
I ignore mortal wounds. Fuck you, Judah.
So for me, I don't have any cultist models, so that would be also be a perfectly good excuse.
And they're a pain in the ass. Cultist models are a pain in the ass to get.
I know.
Let's be honest. Like, that said, if I was going to do cultists, I'd probably just get Cadians, and I'd probably get either the Forge World Renegade kits for them, or I would just convert them up from Cadians.
That would make so much more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
because las guns are the same as auto guns, aren't
they? Basically, yeah.
Basically, same profile. Yeah.
I mean, in the fluff, obviously, auto guns fire solid shots and las guns are lasers, but they're exactly the same.
Stat line. Same profile, same stat line. Yeah.
So yeah, that just makes a ton of sense.
Either that, or you could just go Necromunda miniatures nowadays.
Too expensive to do it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Cadians it is. Anyway,
not that that's a bad idea. You could just get like a box of like
Orlocks
or even like Escher. You wouldn't want Goliaths are too corny, but
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so it's Escher and Slanesh, but
yeah, no, yeah, you got Orlocks.
Yeah,
there's stuff.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, that's a good shout.
That's good chat. Yep,
good shout.
Yeah. Poxwalkers.
Oh yeah. Well, again, I'm not that big of a fan, but unless I was running Typhus, and I've got a shit ton of these fucking Poxwalkers, but I think I've got 46.
Yeah, a special TV.
Ah, yes, it is a special TV, Rose. My daughter has just entered the room.
Hey, Rose.
Hey, say hi to everyone. Say hi to everyone, Rose. Hello. This is my friend Matt. We're chatting to everybody on the internet, but I don't think anybody is watching us.
Someone is. I think it's Chris.
Ah, hi, Chris. Yeah. Oh, hang on a sec. I think we may have to pause this and come back to it.
That's fine. I'll carry on. I'll carry on with some units, and you just go sort yourself out.
Okie dokie. You okay for that?
Okay. So, yeah, we'll carry on while Tim's away. So, Poxwalkers are movement 4. They're weapon skill 5, which is, poor, but their ballistic skill is 6, but they've got no range weapons anyway, so it doesn't matter. And they've got strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, 2 attacks, which is not bad. And then they have got leadership 4, but that doesn't matter because they never ever take morale tests. And you can basically have up to 20 in a unit. 10 is standard, and you can have up to 20. The good thing about them is that you've got the Curse of the Walking Pox, which each time a model is killed by a Poxwalker, you can add another model to the Poxwalker's unit, which, unlike a lot of other things in the game, you don't pay for. So I believe it says you can't go above what you started with. if you're playing match play. But again, I might be wrong. I think you can just actually keep going up. Yeah. Possibly. I've forgotten. I know. Obviously, normally you pay points for extra units. I think with Poxwalkers, you can just keep going higher. And there's a few stratagems that make that even better. And if you've got more than 10 guys in the squad, you hit on 4+ in close combat instead of 5s. So basically, you've got a zombie horde. You've just got like your plague zombies. Tim's back. I'll unmute him.
Hello. Sorry about that. So what do I miss?
There you go. Hey Tim.
How do you get
just
the
talking about
hitting on 4+?
I've got to the hitting on 4+.
How do you do that? I need to know.
You have more than 10 in a unit.
Oh yeah, righto. Cool. That's easy. Why wouldn't you be taking more than 10 in a unit? They're fearless.
Yeah, well, you can only go up to 20 though. Whereas cultists, you can have up to 30. No, 40 in a squad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, cultists, you can have up to 40 in a squad.
No, up to 30. Sorry. Oh, yeah, no, yeah. 40 in a squad, 30 additional. Yeah, I see what you mean, but like, why wouldn't you be taking 20 Poxwalkers? That's awesome.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't. If you're
running
running
20 points.
If you're running them as an actual unit and not as just something for me to hide in a corner on an objective, then yes, you would take 20.
Yeah.
And if you're taking Typhus, you take like 2 or 3 units of 20 and just stand them around him.
Yeah, exactly, because he's got that 7-inch thing. You know, it's like they're all toughness 4, they're all hitting on 4s, and they never have to take morale tests. Like, why wouldn't you?
Exactly. I was just saying, with the Curse of the Walking Pox,
yes,
you can obviously get a Poxwalker every time you kill someone in close combat.
Yeah, that's very handy.
How does that work in match play? About going above?
I believe. Yeah, because I think a lot of match play stuff you got to take reinforcement points, but I think this is one of the few things that gets around it.
I know you don't have to pay the points for them.
Yeah,
but can you go above your starting unit size?
I don't know. I think you can. I think you could.
I can't remember. I'm getting confused with some of the like Age of Sigmar rules. I think about when with zombies in that.
Have to. There'll be something that we've got to look up.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think you can go above your starting unit size with it, but I'm not entirely sure. And that would make sense because of the stratagem that lets you basically get more Poxwalkers whenever anything dies within a certain range. So it would make sense that you can do that, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so they don't take morale tests. They're fearless. They've got a save of 7+, which means they do get a 6+ saving cover. Or if they're within, again, my favorite unit is in the whole book has an ability that gives any infantry unit cover when they're within 7 of them. So again, this is something that you can combine. Death Guard have a lot of synergy with each other. And basically, then you come on to the other troop choices in the book. I thought that was your daughter screaming, and you just slammed the door in her face.
Yeah. No. I've got kid shows playing upstairs. Everyone's starting to wake up, and it's not quiet anymore. And yeah, I just shut my door.
Hopefully, your daughter screaming, and you just went bang.
Got that, child. Piss off, you little wretch.
Gosh.
Yeah, so, no, that's Victorian era, Tim.
Before we banished all of you off to Australia.
No, that was when you banished us.
True. So yeah, while you look that Poxwalker thing up, I'm just gonna go through the other demon choices.
Yeah, I had a look, and I found a thing on Reddit. Does that count?
Yeah, go for it. What does it say on Reddit?
Hi guys, in match play you need to pay for every unit added to your army. Note that it doesn't state model. Does this mean you have to pay for every Poxwalker created and every Necron reanimated? Basically, for both Poxwalkers and Necrons RP, they're adding a model to an existing unit, not creating a new unit. So the keyword here is the difference between model and unit. You can have multiple models in a unit, but you can't have multiple units in a model. So unit is a group of models, and when it says add a unit, it costs points. So it says add a model, it does not. That made no sense.
Right, someone please message me and just tell me, can you go above the Poxwalker starting unit size? I think it's yes. I'm sure it's yes. I'm sure I've seen it done. Plague Bearers. Yay. Love Plague Bearers. So we're getting on to a couple of the demon units. I don't want to spend too much time on them because they're in other codexes.
Breeze through it.
Okay. Plague Bearers are your basic Nurgle demon. 4+ ballistic skill where you have no range weapons. 4+ weapon skill. They basically have no close combat weapons. They're there. They just survive. I mean, they've got Plague Swords, so they do have close combat weapons, but it's Strength User, which is Strength 4. It's Damage 1, but you do get to reroll any failed wound rolls, which is quite good. They're far better in the Demon Codex, where you get benefits for running like all Nurgle demons. So, again, in a Death Guard army, I wouldn't choose Plague Bearers as a troop choice unless I was running a separate demon detachment with the demon rules, because they're not as good in the Death Guard book. Same with Nurglings. You get your basic Nurglings. Everyone's seen Nurglings. Everyone loves Nurglings. They're so cute and cuddly, and they're squishy, and they're so cute, and they're always mischievous. They look so happy all the time. And again, don't run them unless you're running a demon detachment, because there's really no point. Apart from that, they get the cool deployment rule that they can deploy like anywhere on the battlefield.
Yeah, that is very cool.
This is quite cool if you want to grab.
Actually. Yeah, that is really handy for grabbing objectives early in the game, especially in ITC.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ITC format, that's really handy. So first turn, you grab them with a couple of units of squishy, blah, 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 whatever they are, Nurglings, and then you follow up as your Death Guard movie advances up to take those objectives. And that is really handy, actually.
Although Nurglings are squishy, they're actually not that squishy. They survive quite well. I mean, they've got 5+ invuln, and they've got quite a lot of wounds per base. They've got 4 wounds per base? Yeah, 4 wounds per base. I mean, they're toughness 2. So, I mean, you know, they're not going to survive long, but they've got a 6+, 5+. And they
hang on, here we go. I've got an answer on the Poxwalkers.
Finally.
So, it's in the... If the Poxwalker's Curse of the Walking Pox ability increases the unit above its starting strength in a match play game, does this cost reinforcement points? No. Therefore, I'm assuming that if that question's asking if my unit's going above starting strength, that you can go above starting strength. And it doesn't cost you reinforcement points.
Cool. That's fine. That's what I thought.
That's pretty awesome.
That's what I thought. Because that if there is that stratagem that basically, and what I've seen people do is they have 1 unit of Poxwalkers, 20 Poxwalkers starting in the field. They have 2 units of 40 cultists basically stood next to them and in front of them. They use the stratagem that makes the Poxwalkers untargetable, and then they use the other stratagem that's basically for every model that dies within however many inches of a Poxwalker unit, you get to add another Poxwalker. So basically, assuming that they then blow away a load of the cultists, you end up with just like a giant unit of like 100 Poxwalkers.
That is ultimate speed bump right there.
That actually, if you had 100 Poxwalkers, could actually do a lot of damage.
Oh shit, yeah! But you know, you tie down any unit or multiple units in a game. Really?
Here we go. Yeah, so basically, each time, use this stratagem at the beginning of your movement phase, select a unit of Poxwalkers. Until the start of your next movement phase, replace that unit's Curse of the Walking Pox ability with the following. Each time an infantry model other than a Poxwalker, friend or foe, is slain within 7 inches of this unit, add 1 model to the unit. So yeah, basically, as models die, you just keep expanding the size of the Poxwalker unit, which means models further away can die, and then you can add more Poxwalkers to the unit, and you just do that. I mean, that's only 1 CP.
Yeah.
And the Cloud of Flies stratagem is only 1 CP. So that's only 2 CPs a turn. So for the first 3 turns, as you're slowly crawling across the board, that's your 6 battalion point CPs spent. But you end up with a unit of 100 Poxwalkers potentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've only spent
3, 4, 6. Get halfway through the game.
Yeah, 2 or 3 turns you're in combat, aren't you? So, but the thing about Poxwalkers is you can literally, if you want to be that guy, you can spread that unit of 100 Poxwalkers across the whole table. You could probably have one unit of Poxwalkers controlling every objective on the table. This is why I don't.
So evil laughter here.
This is why I don't own that many Poxwalker models, because I'd probably try it.
Do it now.
No, because then I have to get cultists, and we've just discussed that I don't want cultists.
Oh yes.
It's not that I don't want cultists. It's just I can't be bothered to
paint them all.
I like Death Guard because I prefer the elite side of the Death Guard army, not fair. Not the Horde. I like the fact that they can be played in both ways.
See, when I was playing the Horde version of it back in 5th Ed, it was so much fun. I would throw these plague zombies, units of 20. I had 2 units of 20 plague zombies, and I would just throw them into the hardest unit that I could find and leave them there the entire game. And by turn 6, they're finally killing the last of them off. But hey, it's game over, dude. Your unit has been taken out of the entire game because they've been stymied in combat the entire game.
Exactly. And, you can do that at Poxwalkers now, because here's that unit of 100 Poxwalkers that I've just created. Let's watch your elite Terminators kill one at a time. It's almost
and then you drop Typhus next to that unit with 100.
And then you cast Disgusting Putrescent Vitality. Here's my 100 Poxwalkers with Strength 5, Toughness 5, 2 attacks, and every time they kill something, they're adding more Poxwalkers.
Yeah. That's insane.
I don't know how much damage that would actually. I'm trying to math it because they're still only hitting on 4s and probably Strength 5. They've been probably wounding on 3s against 3s or 4s. So 200 attacks. Obviously, you're not going to get all 100 against the one thing, but 200 attacks, hitting on 4s. That's 100 hits. Wounding on 3s or 4s. It's about 50. You're probably dishing out 50.
You need a lot of dice.
Oh, I don't think. I think I'd just be just remove that unit off the table now.
Yes.
In fact, don't remove it. Just add it to the Poxwalker unit. That's great. Thanks very much. So that's the troop choices really. Like I said, demons I don't want to focus too much on because demons work better in an actual demon detachment.
Yeah. So if you're going to take a unit, ITC, I'd take Nurglings out of those 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If I had some points left over and I needed something to grab objectives, then Nurglings are a nice little option. But again, I think I would rather spend the points getting an extra detachment of demons and putting them in there.
Yeah.
Because they still get those rules in the Chaos Demon book anyway. So it's not like I don't think they're any different in the Chaos Demon book, apart from that there's more ways to buff them, and they get benefits by running a Nurgle Demon attachment. So. So we're on to elite choices now. I think.
Yes.
Yep, we are.
Some of my favorite units.
So like with a lot of the books now, and I love what they've done. So instead of having like all the characters, this is just general 40k now. Just instead of having all the characters as like HQ choices and then slightly worse HQ choices, and then there's the HQ choices that no one ever takes because they're pointless. Now we've got elite character units, and I think it gives you
It's
the
a great idea.
It gives you that option of you can take your I keep forgetting the detachment name. Vanguard? No.
Yeah, Vanguard.
Is it?
Yeah, Vanguard's the elite.
Okay. So you can have like a little
Hang
character.
on, I'll check the big rook of bulls.
I
Big
believe
book
you.
of rules.
I think you're right. It is Vanguard. I always forget what they call it anyway.
There we go.
So I feel like I've been talking for ages.
Yep, Vanguard.
Okay, you should talk about some for a minute, and
Okie dokie.
then we'll get back to me.
So my two favorite ones are straight off the bat. Noxious Nightbringer. He comes in your Dark Imperium box set, by the way. So he's probably been around a bit longer than the others. He comes with a plasma pistol, a cursed plague bell, blight and crack grenades. Yeah, he's so plasma pistol won't go through that. Cursed plague bell, melee weapon, user, and does 2 damage. It's also a plague weapon, and so yeah, that's the little bell I imagine that he's carrying in his little hand there. So where is it? So he's got that little bell. So it beats the shit out of people with a bell. Ding, ding, ding. And which is pretty cool. But the reason you have them in your army is because units subtract 1 from their leadership while they're within 7 inches of him. And Psychers subtract 2 from their leadership instead, which is handy when they're doing their is it Perils of the War? And casting psychic powers. And in addition, when you advance, units within 7 inches of the model roll 2 dice and you discard the lowest. So it just gives your Death Guard army that little bit of speed that you might need to move forward a bit quicker. Other than that, he's fairly similar to a Plague Marine profile. He's got 4 wounds though and 3 attacks and leadership 8. So yeah, I think that about covers him. So, anything you wanted to add for him, Matt?
Nah. Like you said, it just gives you a bit more speed, and for some of you, God, I'm struggling to talk now. Some of the army-less builds will really benefit from him. Some of them, if you're playing very defensive list, which I tend to, I'm a very defensive player. I don't see as much use for him as other people would. So
yeah,
but everything else you said, I agree with. He is useful.
So the next one is probably my favorite out of all the elite choices.
Mine too.
You want to be running about, I don't know, if I could, I'd run a whole army of them. Oh, you can. It's called a Vanguard detachment. So Foul Blight spawn, 5 inch, 3 up, 3 up, straight 4, 5+ toughness, 4 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8, 3 up save.
Can I say with time?
Go on.
Is that all of them have the same profile?
Okay, sweet. We're done. Done on profiles. So this guy, he comes with the Plague Sprayer. This is one of the nastiest weapons in the entire list of weapons that Plague Marines can get their hands on, and only he can carry it. It's got a 9-inch range, so he's a very aggressive guy. Assault D6, Strength 2D6, Neg 3 to AP. Yep, there he is. Beastie Boys. I have a grenade. I'm going to throw it, and I'm going to spray you at the same time. And it does 3 damage. It's a plague weapon, so you're re-rolling wounds of 1. weapon automatically hits the target. Roll to determine the strength of this weapon after selecting the target, but before determining how many shots are fired. So, yeah, this is the weapon you want to be killing those really annoying custodies and heavy infantry and pretty much any other unit that exists. This is where you want to be running about 3 of the bastards. Like, they're 77 points each. They're pretty reasonably priced for what you're getting. In addition to that, Unholy Death's Head. Each Foul Blight spawn carries a single Unholy Death's Head grenade. Once per battle, a Foul Blight spawn or another friendly Death Guard character within 3 inches of them can throw an Unholy Death's Head grenade instead of either a Blight grenade or a Hyper Blight grenade. When they do so, change that weapons type to 2d6. So they're throwing 2d6 Blight grenades instead of d6. So that's bloody handy in itself. Yeah, straight 3. And then you couple that with a Biologist Putrefier. Hey! And we're off. And, yep, Revolting Stench. Enemy units that charge this turn and are within 7 inches of the unit at the start of the fight phase are struck by a stench so foul that they falter, losing their impetus. Such a unit does not get to fight first in the fight phase, but can be chosen to fight like other units that did not charge. This ability also affects units who have abilities that would enable them to fight first as if they had charged. That's pretty freaking handy.
I haven't been playing this at all. I totally
really?
forgot. I've just been using him as a flamethrower guy.
Yeah, no, you want to be running these guys like right next to your Plague Marine squads.
Yeah, you do.
You really do.
Right,
you really do.
So here's my thought on this. This guy, I've got one. I've only got one at the moment, but Vanguard.
You need to have like 3 of them.
Vanguard.
Let's be honest. Yeah.
You take Malignant Plaguecaster as the HQ.
Yep.
And he can go anywhere. He doesn't need to be in this. But you take 3 of these. You take 3 of these guys.
Yeah.
220 points ish. No, 200.
Yeah. 240
points ish.
Ish. Sorry. Yeah.
240 ish points. They're about 80 points each. So yeah, about 240, just under 240 points. Then you take a squad of like 5 plague marines. You put all of them in a rhino.
Yep.
And then you just drive at the enemy, and then jump out and start
spraying.
Because you could even jump out, run, and still hit them with those assault weapons. And if you wanted to, in the plague squad, you could chuck a couple of plague belchers in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Or plague spewers, but obviously the plague spewers you wouldn't be able to jump out and run. But
yeah, but are you going to run if you're jumping out?
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking to get as close as possible.
That's true.
And then if you keep the Plague Marines just in front of them, if you do get charged, then you've got that ability that I've just literally realised what it is. And you still might survive.
Yeah. They're an aggressive unit at the end of the day. You want to use them fairly aggressively. The way I'm thinking of running my army is a mid-table army. So you want to be aggressively pushing up and taking that middle ground and holding the middle ground where you've got objectives, where you control the board from the middle of the game, from the middle of the board.
Yeah.
And so you're going to get charged there no matter what. So you got these guys in here to kind of negate that charge in a way, as well as, you got Motarian running around the back table, defending like anybody that decides to deep strike in are going to get countercharged by Morty. That's going to suck. Yeah, it's brutal. Like, it's an absolute brutal army. Depending, there's so many ways you can run it. It's an awesome army.
It does. For an army that doesn't have a huge amount of Well, I say it doesn't have a huge amount of options, but it does have a huge amount of options. But in terms of the pure Death Guard stuff, there's not as many.
No.
But you've got a ton of options in how you run this list or how you want to run the army. Which even some armies that have more options don't have as many options to actually how you play the army. That's all makes sense. Yeah.
Totally.
There are some armies you sort of have to play a certain way, whereas Death Guard you don't. You can tailor the army to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. If you want an army full of armor to grind down your enemy, you can do that. You got some really good options in there to do that. If you want a heavy infantry or elite infantry, you can do that. If you want a horde army, you can do that. There are so many ways you can run this, tactically or, style-wise, fluff-wise. It's a really awesome army.
That's why we're talking about it.
Exactly. We're not talking about Ultramarines. We're talking about Death Guard. Not talking about Thousand Suns. Talking about Death Guard. They're awesome. They're a really cool army.
Yeah, they are. So the next one along the line is
Biologist Putrefier.
So again, same stat line. So we're not going through that again. But this guy is what is it? He's more of a support character. I mean, they're all support characters, I suppose, but the Blightspawn isn't really. I suppose he is because of that ability that I didn't really realize what it was. So he is a grenade guy.
Yeah.
His pistol's good.
Very good. What was it? Damage changes to 1 when attacking vehicles, hey.
He's like a character killer. So he's got an injector pistol, which is a range of 3 inches, which is like probably the shortest range weapon in the game, which I've never seen a range of 3 inches.
Well, you got to think of it. It's firing needles with AIDS at people.
Oh yeah, I know. That is literally he's just
death by AIDS.
It's a one-shot pistol with a strength of 4, which isn't great, but AP -1 and it does D6 damage. So this isn't why you would take him. You wouldn't go, oh, he's got this really good pistol.
No,
one-shot characters, but you can potentially one-shot weak, like small elite characters. What you want to take him for is his hyper blight grenades and his blight racks.
Yeah.
So hyper blight grenades are a D6 grenade with strength 4, 2 damage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. In fact, they're strength 5 because of his own ability. And they're damage 3.
Yeah.
Because they're actually damage 2, but they're actually damage 3 because of his own ability. Because he increases the strength and damage characteristics of of all blight grenades.
Yeah.
I'm reading it and I'm like questioning whether this is right or not, but yeah, no, I'm right. So basically they're going to be strength 5, damage 3 blight grenades, and he can throw D6 of them, and also he explodes. Like a vehicle. So if he dies on a 4-up, his grenade pack that he's got on him explodes, and he does 1 mortal wound to everything that isn't a Nurgle unit. So he doesn't.
You guys are fine. Like, this is a perfect out clause. It's like, all my guys are fine. You guys are screwed. It's awesome. Like you're saying, you're like, why wouldn't you be running this guy? 3 foul blight spawn. What am I up to? 4. That's 4. Yeah.
Oh dear. Right. Okay. So I need to I don't actually own this guy yet.
No.
But I'm going to buy one. So in addition, when a unit is within 3 inches of this model, each wound roll of 6+ inflicts an additional mortal wound on the target.
Yeah.
So, here we go.
Yeah.
Next combination of stuff.
So why wouldn't you be running in a Rhino or Land Raider?
No. Better than that.
Better than that.
Squad of 20 Plague Marines.
Yep.
with some sort of meat shield in front of them, like a cultist or poxwalker unit.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you use the Cloud of Flies ability on them so they can't get shot.
Yep.
You have the Biologist Putrefier in with them. You get to within 6 of whatever the frick you wanted. And then you activate Blight Bombardment.
Yeah.
Use this stratagem. It's 1 CP as well. Like a lot of the Death Guard ones are all 1 CP. Use this stratagem just before a friendly Death Guard shoots or fires Overwatch. Oh, it's that's no wait, wrong one. No, yeah, sorry, shoots or fires Overwatch. Yeah. When resolving that unit's shots, every model in that unit that is equipped with a Blight Grenade can throw one, instead of only one model in the entire unit being able to do so.
Yes, exactly.
So that is 20. Right, what's the strength of a normal Blight Grenade? 3, 4?
Hang on.
Strength 3.
Sorry.
Strength 3 damage
3.
1.
Yeah.
So that would then be 20 D6 grenade shots.
Yep.
Strength 4. Damage 2. With wound rolls of a 6 being a mortal wound.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking decent.
Math hammer that. I 20 times D6 is 100. 20 D6 is up to 120 shots.
Yeah. Okay, so you take that combo, then you add 3 Foul Blight Spawn, all really close to the Biologist Putrefier, or maybe you have another Biologist Putrefier or some shit, right? And then you throw their Unholy's Death Head grenades along with the grenades from the 20-odd Marines, plus the Biologist. That's a lot of fucking grenades being thrown at people.
It's up. So yeah, so a squad of 20 Plague Marines could throw 120 grenades.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 120. Obviously, it's the grenades.
Potential.
The grenades exploding is why it's D6. But you know what I mean. So, 120 hits, or 120 potential hits.
Potential hits, yeah.
Then you've got the Biologist Putrefier throwing his own grenade, which is the Hyper Blight grenade.
It's 2d6.
Which is, no, that's only D6.
Oh, yeah. It's only D6, right?
Oh, no. Oh, the Biologist,
a hyper grenade.
The Biologist Putrefier can benefit from the Unholy Death's Head thing. So you
exactly.
So you can throw a 2d6 Hyper Blight grenade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which means the foul Blight Spawn couldn't, but you would want the Biologist Putrefier.
No. The foul Blight Spawn or another friendly Death Guard character within 3 inches of him can throw an Unholy Death's Head grenade instead of either a Blight grenade or a Hyper Blight. Oh, okay. So Unholy Death's Head grenade is different to a Hyper Blight grenade.
Well, it isn't, but
it's instead of. It's instead of.
So
it doesn't benefit from the Hyper Blight grenade.
Yeah, it does.
It says instead of.
All it does is when they so look, each Foul Blight Spawn carries a single Unholy Death's Head grenade. Yeah. When they do so, change the weapon's type to grenade 2d6. It doesn't change the type of grenade. It changes. Oh, sorry, it does, but it changes. All it does is change it to 2d6. So you don't throw it with the Foul Blight Spawn because he only gets 2d6 strength 3 damage 1. You throw it with the Biologist Putrefier, and then you get 2d6 damage 5 strength 5 damage 3 grenades, which means you want to run these in pairs. You want to run like 2 Foul Blight Spawns along with like 2 Biologist Putrefiers and just run them next to each other. Because you can only use.
That's an interesting one.
You can only use that grenade once.
I don't know. I'm thinking I might disagree with you. It says Death's Head grenade instead of a Blight grenade.
Yeah, no, it says instead.
Or a Hyper Blight grenade.
It says instead of either a Blight grenade or a Hyper Blight grenade, but then it says when they do so, change that weapon's type to grenade 2d6.
Oh, right. Okay, you're right.
The Unholy Death's Head doesn't have its own profile. It just upgrades the Blight grenade or the Hyper Blight grenade to 2d6. So.
Oh, right. Cool. Yeah.
You don't throw those with the Foul Blight Spawn unless you have to.
No. They give the grenade to a Putrefier and they make it.
He throws it.
Yeah. That's brutal.
So that's another if you literally ran two Foul Blight Spawns with 2 Putrefiers, that is like another
That is
20,
nasty.
that's another like 24 grenades going in.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the foul blight spawn can still throw their normal blight grenades. That's another 12.
Yeah.
Just anything on the table is disappearing to that, I think. Again, I can't math power very well in my head, but
yeah. The only problem is it's a 6-inch distance.
oh yeah, no, absolutely. You've got to be able to back it up with something else. I'm not saying it's the best option ever. But
you want to be like right up in their face when you're throwing this combo out there.
the thing is, actually, I'm just check something. Okay, right. So what happens is, if say you walk up, you say you don't decide not to charge. Say you've just done this grenade thing and you've wiped out a unit or whatever, or a tank or whatever. And obviously in the new rules, you can have half the unit throwing their grenades at one thing and half the unit throwing them at another.
Oh yeah.
So you could literally just like, oh look, you've got 3 squads of Imperial Guard in front of me. There goes one with half the unit. There goes another with the other unit, and then chuck in the bosses. Well, you could charge them, yeah, but I think just grenade the shit. But then if they countercharge you, you can just activate the stratagem again and
throw more grenades.
Just do Overwatch with a shit ton more grenades.
What do you fucking do if I'm hitting on 6s? They're all getting thrown at you.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm hitting on 6s, but here's potentially another 120 shots.
Oh, hang on, I just want to see that stratagem. What's it called again?
It's called Blight Bombardment.
Yeah, that's right.
And I just wanted to check that it wasn't only in your turn, but no, it says specifically just before a unit shoots or fires Overwatch.
Yes. Awesome. Oh, is it in my turn or is it an Overwatch thing?
It's in Overwatch or in your turn.
That is awesome.
Do you know what you could do as well?
Yes.
If you had something really, really... This would work even on smaller units of Death Guard.
Yeah.
So, Biologist Putrefier next to your Death Guard unit. So say you've got 7 or 8 models. You activate Blight Bombardment. Then you activate Veterans of the Long War.
Yeah.
Because that adds +1 to your wound rolls.
Yeah.
And because of how that works, that means your mortal wounds are then being triggered on 5-ups and not 6-ups.
This is evil.
Oh, I'm going to use this at some point.
Yeah, I've got to use this too.
Custodies.
That's awesome.
Custodies
would be butchered.
They'll just disappear. You won't even need to... They won't even get to roll their armor saves because you'll cause so many mortal wounds off the extra rolls that will kill them off.
Oh, you've got an invulnerable? Well, fuck you.
It literally... They wouldn't have a chance because they're mostly units of 5.
Yeah.
Yes, they've got high toughness, and yes, they've got obviously like a couple of wounds apiece.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've got invulnerable saves or whatever, but it's just too many shots. I'm pretty sure that it doesn't matter what you could roll pretty badly and still kill them all off.
Yeah.
Because you'd be wounding on 5s anyway, but with Veterans of the Long War. Yeah, you're not going to be... Yeah, because if you've got the Biological Putrefier, they're going to be strength 4. So, yeah, you're winning on 5s. But that for every wound roll, it's a wound and it's a mortal wound. So, math, someone, help me out. But they're not going to survive any of that. And then if they try and charge you if they try and charge you in your turn, you just go...
Even if they do survive, it's reactivate this.
I'm just going to reactivate it and just Overwatch you with the same thing.
Yeah. It's like, now it's horrible, but fuck it works.
So, whoever Tim's friend is with the Custodies, I apologize.
Jarrett, you're fucked.
You have chosen a poor army to fight with. And it is your own fault. All I would say is play Tim now before he buys the Biologist Putrefier.
Yeah, and the Valve Light Spawn. I don't have either of them yet, but I will be getting... Oh, why wouldn't you just go to like a Vanguard detachment of 3 of each? Like...
Oh my god. How many points is that? I think they're about the same points. I think the biological putrefy
Yeah.
points is
That's reasonable. That's reasonable. Units of Poxwalkers to hold the line and and follow up.
Do you know what really upsets me? I feel like they've missed out a trick. I feel like the biology. He's 74 points.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Or has he gone down?
No, he's 74.
He hasn't gone down?
He hasn't gone down. I'm just checking his equipment. I doubt there's any on his equipment because there never normally is, those guys.
No. I
No,
don't think there is.
he's free. I feel like he should be 73 points and the Foul Blight Spawn's 77 points, and then there'd be like 150 points between them.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier. Now they're like
and
151.
Now they're 151. And that really upsets me.
That fucks with my OCD.
They're clearly buddies, and they should be walking next to each other. And no, they're 151 points for the pair of them, and that upsets me.
Yeah, you should. Yeah,
GW, please just take a point off the biological putrefier. Just that 1 point. Just make it happen.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go out and buy 2 more Foul Blight Spawns and 3 biological putrefires.
Yes, I think I might have to do the same.
So we spent a lot of time on him now, and there's a horrendous combo.
Yeah, that's nasty.
It's the extra mortal wounds that makes it horrendous. Brilliant.
Yeah, yeah, completely. Just gets ridiculous so quickly.
Do you know what? You could just have like 2 units of 20 Plague Marines stood either side of him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why wouldn't you?
To be fair, you couldn't, because you couldn't use the Blight Bombardment twice in the same phase. So
no, that's true. Yeah, one unit of 20.
Unless you were playing like open play, and then you can use the same stratagem as many times as you want.
Yeah, which we never do because it's just so cheesy.
Yeah, exactly. We always play match play. So that's the Putrefier.
Plague Surgeon.
Same stat line.
Same stat line.
So basically, he's evil apothecary.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Like, he's got a Bale Sword. It's pretty much like a power sword with the plague weapon rule.
Yeah.
The cool thing about him is instead of harvesting the gene seed from his own guys, he steals it from all the enemy troops. Yeah. So it's a very specific, but it's only for himself though. He adds 1 to hit and wound rolls when targeting in the fight phase when targeting infantry or biker units. For Adeptus Astartes, which is cool, but it's very targeted. But his other ability is that you reroll disgustingly resilient rolls of 1 for the Death Guard infantry within 3 inches of him.
Which is why you take him, really.
Yeah. But even then, there are better units to take in a tournament situation than a Plague Surgeon.
Tournaments, definitely. But he is only 59 points.
Yeah, that's true.
Tournaments, I don't see him being a tournament unit, but I do see him potentially having a place in some of my more friendly lists.
Plus, it's a really cool miniature too.
Death Guard infantry, Poxwalkers Death Guard infantry units. Of course they are.
No, they're not.
Yeah, yes they are. The Death Guard and
the Death Guard and their infantry. That is cool.
Here's my 100 unit of Poxwalkers. I get rerolls.
And I'm rerolling 1s.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not doing it. I'm not. Okay, so the last guy is the Taliban. And again, this guy, I don't think I'd bother using.
No, he's cool. Like,
his ability is so specific that it just he's got the zealot. If I was running a close combat unit of Death Guard, maybe because he gets reroll failed hit rolls in the fight phase for friendly Death Guard units that are within 7. Oh, that's any Death Guard unit. That's any. It's not infantry.
Yeah,
you can walk next to Mortari.
Yeah, true.
Oh no, Mortari rerolls anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So why would you?
Yeah, shut him out.
Sevenfold Chant. So he's the guy that gives you your command points back. But you have to roll a 7 on 2d6. Yes, it's more likely that you're going to roll 7 than any other number. But
I think that's a
still
once.
very
That is
specific.
like once per game you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Each time you spend a command point. Yeah, so
Hang on.
2d6.
I've got dice.
Roll. Let's say you got average about seven command points in an army.
Right, yeah. Bearing in mind that if you spend I believe if you spend a stratagem that's like 2 command points, you can only roll it once and you can only get one of them back. Isn't that right? I think that because
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
how it
that's
is.
correct.
I think that's how it is with like the space.
Yeah,
ones and stuff.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
command
So I've
points to use. So you'd only be getting 1 back for 2 used.
Matt's terrible dice rolling. Right. Okay. Here we go. So I'm gonna roll like double 1 every time. But so first command point, I actually rolled 7.
Nice. So
I've
you
got
get
that.
1 back.
So all right. Okay. No, lost that one.
Yep.
Lost that one. Lost that one. Oh, got 1 back. So I'm still on 4 command.
Yeah.
Yeah, still on 4 command points.
Yeah, still on 4.
3, 2, 1, 0. So I had 8 command points instead of 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that is 2 extra uses of Blight Bombardment.
Yeah, exactly. True.
All veterans of the long war. How many points is he? I don't.
I think he's only like 60 or something like that. He's pretty cheap.
Taliban. He's 55. They dropped him in the chapter.
Yeah. But then you got to give him plasma pistol for 7 points.
Oh, good point. So he's 70.
62?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot. I keep forgetting equipment and how it's done in the new.
Yeah.
I would give him a go. I would actually give him a go, I think.
Really?
I
like the model, but I don't know that I'd give him a go on any of my lists.
If I was maybe not a competitive list. I don't.
No. Oh, crikey. Right.
No, not a competitive list, but I would use him in friendly lists.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's punch on and 2 Terminator squads, Death Shroud and Blight Lords.
So both are specific to Death Guard.
Yep.
Which is nice. There's no generic Terminators in the Death Guard list. So
Yep.
You've only got the choice of the 2 Nurgly ones. Oh, sorry, the Death Guard ones. So Death Shroud, they're actually pretty boring. Like, they're great. Now they've had their points reduction by loads.
Yeah.
Because they were basically unplayable before.
Way too expensive. Way too expensive.
They've gone down from I've lost it. Where are they? Death Shroud. They went down from 50 points apiece to 35 points apiece. That's a huge drop. A huge drop. And that's mainly because their equipment costs like 15 points or something anyway. Or 17 points or something. Well, they got Man Reapers.
Yeah, Man Reapers.
They're 17 points each? Yeah, 17 points each. So they're still 52 points a model.
Bile Split.
Oh, and they're 8. That's like 8 points, I think.
5 points.
Oh, okay. So they're still.
Is it the
50?
Oh no, it was the Plague. Hang on.
Plague Spurt Gauntlets.
Is it Plague Spurt? Plague Spurt Gauntlet.
It is 8 points.
Yeah, 8. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the Bile Spurt.
That's all right. So they're 60 points each instead of 75 points each like they used to be.
Yeah.
They are still a big investment, and all they're doing, and this is the only reason why you pretty much run them, is their extra wounds for Mortarion.
Yeah.
And what you do is Mortarion runs up 12 and possibly runs if you want to, and then you drop the Death Shroud down and Deep Strike next to him, and then they die while everyone tries to kill Mortarion, and then you carry on and kill everything with Mortarion.
Yeah.
I've fought with my Death Shroud. They've managed to make it into combat like twice.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever got to fire their placement before.
Yeah.
I literally got a lucky charge roll, 9-inch charge roll off the deep strike,
Which is always handy.
which is great. You always roll for Mortarion first if you charge in, because then any Overwatch the Death Shroud can absorb. Then you roll to charge for the Death Shroud, and then if they get in, great. If not, well, I don't know. They're very expensive, and all they are really is extra wounds for characters. Yes, you could use them because you can go up to 6 of them in a unit, but I don't think that would be. I guess you could put them in a Terminator and use them as like a drive up in a Terminator and a Land Raider, and use them as a Land Raider.
Let's get on. Oh.
Yeah. You could put them in a Land Raider and drive them up in a Land Raider, but that was it.
Why would you though? Why would you?
You wouldn't, but there's that option. Okay.
I think for me they are very fluffy though, but like being wound counters, because Mortarion did actually summon Ignatius Grulgor, his captain of the second company. Was a flight of the Eisenstein. He became, He became a plague marine and eventually his soul got sucked into the warp after that. And when they dropped out of the Geller field or dropped out of warp to kill off all the plague demons and shit in the Eisenstein. And he became a demon prince. And so to summon him, Mortarion killed all his Death Shroud bodyguard in one sweep of silence. So it is quite fluffy. Like, they're pretty expendable. Like, Mortarion sees them as very expendable.
I like them, and I do use them when I use Mortarion.
Yeah.
But like I said, they've never earned their points back.
They don't make a difference to the game for their points.
No, exactly. I would like them to, but they don't because of what they're there for.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the Death Shroud Terminators. They've got their invulnerable save. They've got Cataphractii armor, so they're slow. They do get extra attacks if they're within 3 inches of. No, sorry, Death Guard. Other Death Guard character, Mortarion doesn't, but any Death Guard character that's within 3 of the Death Shroud Terminators get an extra attack. So that would be all your Foul Blight spawns and everything like that as well. And they can suck up wounds for those characters as well. That's it, right? So and they can deep strike. Blightlord Terminators. Go Tim, go.
Blightlords. All right. Movement 4, 3 up, 3 up. Strength 4, toughness 5. 2 wounds each, 2 attacks, leadership 8, 2+. All right. So these are the generic Terminators of the Death Guard list, for lack of a better word. They all come in Cataphractii armor now, which is pretty cool because that gives them a 4-up invoke. Just makes them advance a bit slower, but hey, that's pretty Death Guardy anyway. Teleport Strike, Aura of Rust. Each time you make a wound roll of a 6+ for this unit's melee weapons, increase the AP attack by 1.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that is really awesome on your Flails of Corruption. They go up to -3 AP. I'm hoping that I'm really hoping that Matt's been playing them that way.
I have. I actually
Excellent. Good boy. So yeah, look, they get all the combi weapons. They get all the weapons that a few of the weapons that normal Chaos Terminators would get, like the Reaper Autocannon. Instead of their Power Swords and Power Axes, they get the Bale Sword and the Bubotic Axes. Look, to be honest, I'd be taking Bubotic Axes every time for their 5 points.
Yeah, I've got a couple built with swords, but that was because I built them before I really read the rules.
Yeah. +1 strength is always really nice to have. And -3 AP compared to -2. Well, 5, 6s. Yeah.
I've actually I built one with a sword from the original box set of 5 that I've got, and then I've got one with a sword with these easy to build ones because I didn't get a choice.
Yeah.
But the axe is better, way better.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you wound on a 6 and then it's AP3 anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is what my friend did wrong, and this is why he's a cheating little whorebag. Sorry, Pat.
We love you.
Yeah, he's cool. He's a good player.
You know you didn't mean it.
He's also getting custodies, so I can't wait.
Dick.
I know.
I don't like you anymore, Pat.
Basically, he was playing it that his champion had the Flail of Corruption.
Yep.
But that isn't an option.
No, you can't do that.
The champion doesn't get the choice of the flail. It has to be a normal. No. So basically, he was getting 3d3 flail of corruption attacks instead of 2d3. It doesn't make a huge difference, but he was literally like, "Oh
it's enough of it different."
I wiped out this like whole unit with like just the Terminator champion, and I was just like, "You cheating whore."
Yeah, no.
And he was like,
"That's not cool."
I pointed it out, and he was like, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah. No, champions can only take units from the list at the start of the book.
So
that we pointed out before. So yeah, it's only one Blight Lord, Terminator, and 5 can take a flail. Combi, and they've got to replace their bubotic axe or combi weapon and melee weapon with that. And for every 5,
you can take one of the special weapons.
Yeah, you can take one of the special weapons. So you can do like a look out of those special weapons. I'd definitely be going Blight Launcher. No, it depends what you're running. Actually, Plague Spear is probably better because you're dropping them in.
For the Termies, I think the Plague Spear.
Yeah,
they don't get to shoot first turn, obviously, because you have to drop with that out of 9 inches. But Blight Launcher is good, though. Blight Launcher is good, but
yeah,
it depends what army you're facing. I know you don't get to choose this before you pick your list, but if you know you're going to be playing a lot of like squishy armies, you take the Plague Spear. If you know you're playing a lot of power armor or elite units, you take the Blight Launchers.
Blight Launcher, yeah.
But obviously, I know you.
Which are cheaper now.
Which are cheaper now. I know you don't. I know you can't be like, oh, I wonder who I'm playing today. I'll just. But
no, especially in a tournament situation, you can't really assume.
But I think the Plague Spears are more reliable because they're like hitting.
Exactly.
And it's strength 5, which is going to be wounding on 3s most of the time. Most of the time, against most like basic units, is what I'm saying. But Custody is probably the Blight Launchers.
Yeah.
And I would have built mine with the Blight Launcher had I realised I was going to get the easy to build one with the Plague Spear.
Yeah.
So when I pick up another box set of those, I will build a Blight Launcher.
Well, at least you can have 2 units with a Plague Spear on each.
Well, I'll have two Flails of Corruption because there's no option. I'm definitely not doing that. I'll end up with 13 Blight Lord Terminators basically. I'll have 2 Plague Spears, 2 Flail of Corruptions. I'll have a Blight Launcher just as a spare weapon. And then I'll just have a selection of different combi weapons and a selection of axes and swords. So, yeah. Blight Lord Terminator is really, really good, really powerful. They can really change games when used correctly, especially if you drop them in behind enemy lines, and because they cannot ignore that unit.
No.
They really can't.
Because they're just great all around. Like, I don't even know if I'd take combi weapons on them. I'd just go combi bolters.
It depends what you want them for. I've got, I've got selection. I've got some with just bolters, and I've got some with. I think I've got like one of each so far. I've got like one combi flamer, one combi plasma, one combi melter. And I don't always use them as those because obviously friendly games. Most of the games I play are friendly games, so I'm just like today these are all just bolters, and they're fine with it. I never like say like they're all melters or whatever, but I'll always be like they're just all bolters.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, this flame is actually a melter and this plasma is actually a grenade launcher, or, whatever.
Yeah. Would it be hard to magnetize them?
No. No,
that's all right.
if I remember, just thinking about, I probably should have, but I didn't have any magnets at the time. I did somewhere, but I couldn't find them. I'm pretty sure it's just like literally quite an easy piece to it. I don't think it would be too difficult.
No.
I think it's a really easy piece to magnetize. There might not be very much to connect it to, is what I'm thinking. It might not be much to drill into, but
no.
Okay, right. That's it. Blight Automator is a great unit for me. I would definitely generally always have a unit of them. They're expensive, but they're like Terminators are expensive anyway.
Yeah.
38 points each plus war gear.
Let's skip ahead to Fetid Blight Drone and Myphitic Blight Haulers. We don't need to.
I'll just quickly mention what we're skipping. So we're skipping Hellbrute, we're skipping Beast of Nurgle, because again, Beast of Nurgle demons, they're better in the demon lists. Possessed are just rubbish. So then we get to the good stuff. Yeah. You do Bloat Drone, I'm doing Blight Hauler.
Okay, so Bloat Drones, they come in your Dark Imperium box set with the 2 Plague Spitters. So again, this is mostly, for the most part, it is a aggressive unit, although you can take heavy blight launchers for some distance. So heavy blight launcher, it's got a moving stat line. So weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, toughness 7, wounds 10, leadership 8, save 3+, and the movement part, movement drops from 10 to 8 to 6. Strength drops from 6 to 5 to 4, and the attacks drop from 3 to 2 to 1. They've got some really cool stuff in it. Obviously, they're demonic, so they get a 5+ invo. They've got disgustingly resilient. They're putrid explosion, so explodes. Each unit within 7 inches suffers a mortal wound on a 4+. So that's pretty hairy. They've got fly, so they can fall back and shoot, which is really cool. Right, their weapons. So the heavy blight launcher, assault 6, strength 6, neg 2 AP, D3 damage, and it's a plague weapon. So that's really handy against heavy infantry, such as your custodies or terminators. Although they will be getting their invulnerable saves against it. Plague Spitter, again, pretty cool. 9-inch range, assault D6, strength of the user, so it's strength 6. Neg 1 to the enemy armor and does 1 damage, but it automatically hits. And they carry 2 Plague Spitters, so it's 2d6 assault. So it's pretty cool. So it's a really fast, aggressive build. Then they've got the melee kit for it. So this is the one that I'd really like to run, which is the Flesh Mower. Basically winds up having a similar stat line to a Demon Prince. And it's a little bit faster. So it's got strength, +2 to strength on the Flesh Mower, neg 2 to armor, and does 2 damage. Each time a floated bloat drone fights, it can make 6 additional attacks with this weapon. So it has 9 attacks at a full stat line, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, at strength 8, which is pretty freaking awesome. You know, and then it's got the Plague Probe, which has got melee, strength of the user, so strength 6, neg 2 to your armor, and D3 damage. Again, and both Flesh Mower and Plague Probes are, all its weapons are plague weapons. So, yeah. It's a good unit. I would run that. I can see me running that.
The basic, it's a very flexible unit. The basic build with the 2 Plague Spitters and the Plague Probe is 158 points a piece, though.
Which is cheaper than a Demon Prince.
Yes. But it has the diminishing. It has the diminishing stat line, and Obviously,
Yeah.
hits on 4s, wounds on 4s. Obviously, with the Plague Spitters, it's auto hits, which negates the 4+ ballistic.
Yeah.
So I still think Plague Spitters are my weapon of choice. But the Flesh Mower is cool if you literally just want to run them up and charge them into combat. And you could definitely just like make something like you could probably magnetize something and stick it onto the front of the Plague Spitters just to turn it into you probably wouldn't have to go out and buy like an additional kit.
No.
But the Flesh Mowers are like the cheapest option because that takes it down to like 130 something points.
Yeah, exactly. So it's probably a good way to go. I mean, you could run it like you could run two with Plague Spitters and then run another one with the mower. And hey, if they destroy one of the spitters, that's okay because the one with the mower will get them. Or you could run it with the what was it? If they get the one with the mower, the Plague Spitters will get them. So either way, you're fucked.
Yeah, I like the option. I've got 2 of them at the moment. I've got both with both of them with the Plague Spitters and the
So Dark Imperium.
It was the Dark Imperium ones, because I got 2 sets. So, but they're decent, and having a 10-inch move is decent.
It's really handy.
But then we get to my favorite unit.
Yeah.
This is literally my favorite unit in the whole book. Well, it wasn't until I got 3 of them, and now they're my favorite unit in the whole book because these things are absolutely lethal. They're my Phytic Blight Haulers. Movement 10, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 6, toughness 7, wounds 8, 3 attacks, leadership 8, and strength save of 3 up. They're demon units, so they get an invuln of 5 up. They've got disgustingly resilient, which is 5 up. They have some interesting special rules. So they've got putrescent fog, friendly Death Guard infantry units that are entirely within 7 of Blight Haulers gain the benefit of cover when making armor saves. They explode on a 4 up, but they only do 1 mortal wound. If this unit contains 3 models, they get +1 to hit, so they're all hitting on 3s while there's 3 of them in the unit. The Demonic, I've already said that, 5 of invuln. They're tri-tracked. This unit does not suffer any penalty for moving or firing heavy weapons. And they've got Foul Stench, which enemy units must subtract 1 from all hit rolls that target this unit in melee. So,
yeah, that's pretty boss.
They're awesome. They're about 100. I can't remember how many. I think I know a unit of 3 of them is about 400 and something points, but I always
420 something.
I think it might even be a bit more than that, but
they're 142 each.
They're not worth running with unless you run all 4 of them. The 3 of them, sorry. But they all have the same. They all have the same equipment layout. There's no options for them.
No,
this is it. So they have
6 points for 3.
Yeah, so they have Bile Spurt, which is like they spit at them basically, which has got a 12-inch range. It's assault D3, strength 6, which is decent, AP -1, which is all right, and it's 1 damage, and it's a plague weapon. That isn't, that's just a little bonus just to kill off like infantry and stuff. They've all got missile launchers, which obviously you get your frag and your crap. I'm not going to go through that because
everyone knows it. Yeah,
and they've got multi-nutters, which 24-inch range. And again, everyone knows what they do. Heavy 1, their weapon, they're vehicle killers. And they've also got a decent close combat weapon, which is their Gnashing Maw, because they're a demon engine. It's strength user, which is strength 6, but that's decent.
That's decent.
It's AP -2, and it's damage 1, but it's a plague weapon. So it's the AP -2, and they get 3 attacks apiece. So it's not like they're not. They can hold their own in combat.
They're not slouches, Like if a generic Custodes unit decides to charge them, hey, look, they've got 8 wounds apiece, and on top of that, they'd be stupid, and they're toughness 7, and then on top of that, they're strength 6, so they're wounding the Custodes on 3 ups.
Yep, and they've got 5 up invuln and a 5 up in feel no pain.
Yeah, exactly. So, they have 3 up normal save. They're decent. They're really decent units.
Down easy. In the tournament that I played recently, it was quite a friendly tournament, but these guys got all my work done. The first game, they didn't do a lot. They killed a couple of rhinos. a couple of Chaos Rhinos in the first turn.
Yeah.
In the second game, I stole initiative off of
Nice.
off the Space Marine player. I deployed fairly aggressively. I drove them up there 10 inches. I got my Demon Prince right behind them, and I fired at a Lamb Raider, and the Lamb Raider disappeared.
Nice.
I took most of his wounds off with the multi-melters, and then I got lucky with the missile launchers, and he failed his saves, and just took the last like 4 wounds off with the missile launchers. And then I even had because I declared it as well. I actually managed to kill a couple of scouts off with their spitty weapons, just because.
Nice.
Just
because you can.
They were in range, and they were the only things in range of the spitty weapons at the time. So I thought, you just do it, don't you? You don't waste shots in this game. So,
no, exactly.
And a couple of scouts died under the spitting. So and in the final game against Elder, they literally wreaked havoc in the middle of the board.
Nice.
He didn't want to go near them, and
no.
They were just picking stuff off. I think 2 of them died across all 3 games.
That's decent.
One
you want to hear
the Space Marines, and one of them died against the Elder.
Now, this is my combo for you. You want to be running with the Myphitic Blight Haulers a Great Unclean One with the Bell.
Okay, I'm not prepared with the Demon Codex right now, so I've forgotten what that does.
Okay, so basically, from what I understand, is the Bell is able to replenish and bring back models into a demon unit. So any models that have been taken off the board, they come back.
Yeah.
So
Myphitic Blight Haulers are demon.
Myphitic Blight Haulers are a Nurgle demon unit.
They're a demon unit. They're not a Nurgle demon unit.
Oh, yeah, well, they're a demon.
Oh no, well,
anyway.
no, they've got the keyword Nurgle and they've got the keyword demon. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
just
right.
double check the codex. Double check that, but I'm pretty sure from what Kristen, I'm blaming Kristen, the store manager up at Mount Gravatt for this. He reckons it works, so
I think you're probably right. It would work until, because they've obviously got that room.
See if I can find Great Unclean One data sheet.
Because I've got the book here somewhere. They've got the obviously there's that rumor that they're going to change keywords and faction keywords.
Yeah.
Change the definition slightly. Now, at the moment, the Myphitic Blight Hauler has the faction keyword Nurgle and the keyword of demon. Whereas, like, if you look at the actual the Nurgle demon units, it's actually got the faction keyword of Nurgle and demon. So I think at the moment you're probably right. It probably works. I'm just walking away. I've got my demon codex. Where are we? Nurgle. I literally can't find Nurgle. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, damn it.
No, wait. No,
Aha! I've got it. I've got it.
Crushing Bulk, Reverberating Summons. Yeah.
Yeah, with a Doomsday Belt, attempts to summon Nurgle demons on the battlefield using a demonic ritual. You can roll 4 dice instead of 3. In addition, at the start of each of your turns, you may roll d6 for each Nurgle demon unit within 7 inches of a friendly Great Unclean One with the Doomsday Belt, on a 4+ a single slain model is returned to the unit.
See, it says Nurgle Demon.
Yes.
Is that the same thing that happened to Mortarion?
Yes.
So basically, Games Workshop is bullshitting me into buying a Great Unclean One that I can't do that to.
Well, I think at the moment you can, but I think they're very quickly going to be changing that in the FAQs.
Hang on. PDF. Sorry, Mortarion. No. Hang on. Possessed.
Because you've got the thing was the stratagem thing, wasn't it? It was the
Yeah, it was a stratagem to
striking.
deep strike Mortarion. Hang on one sec. Was it Chaos Demon FAQ? Because it's in there, I believe.
Yeah, Denizens of the Warp, Chaos Demon stratagem.
Yeah. Here we go. When a stratagem from Codex Chaos Demons uses a demon keyword, can it? Yeah, it's only stratagems at the moment.
So yeah,
These stratagems can only affect units with the demon faction keyword. So at the moment, it's only it's only stratagems.
Yeah, so at the moment, then you're right. In theory, the Unclean One could do that on the Mythic Blight Hall, the Blight drones,
Which is just horrible.
which is super cheesy.
But as you're saying though, if you're only using like one in a game every now and then, is it worth taking a Great Unclean One? Because they're like 300 odd points.
Not for where he would be standing, probably.
No.
The Unclean One would be advancing with some demon units and keeping them alive, not the haulers, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
something.
if you take him in a Supreme Command detachment with Mortarion or something, I suppose, but that's a lot of points to dump into a 2,000 point list. Or
Yeah, I mean the Blight Haulers by themselves are quite a lot of points, but it's still doable.
It's mostly your army's taken up with Blight Haulers, Mortarion, if you want to run, and a Great Unclean One. Bam, straight off the bat.
It'd be cool though, right? So
that's Blight Haulers, I think.
Yeah,
they're very cool.
They are.
Oh, and they're cheap because they come in the easy build kit. So for Aussies, it's only $35 to buy one.
Wow, it's 15 quid for me.
Yeah, it's still cheap. Like
I guess
$35 isn't that much.
So basically, as well, like I got mine for basically like 35 quid, I think, because I got 3 at once and had. I didn't get them straight from GW. I got them from like a third party. So I got mine for, like, discounted. So I think I got mine for like 35 quid for all 3.
Yeah.
So that's a bargain for a unit that is a quarter of a 2,000 point army. And but I say that, but they're actually good. I'm not saying that's about. Like, I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like you would with some units, you say like, oh, they're like 25% of your 2,000 point list. But like, what a waste. But these guys actually get shit done.
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip Chaos Spawn. I'm going to skip Plague Drones. I
think we can skip all the way through to
Plague Burst Crawler.
Plague Burst Crawler. So Land Raider we skip as well.
Everyone knows what a Land Raider does.
Yeah, that's been around for ages. Their boss.
And Defilers as well. Everyone knows what a Defiler is. It's the weird crab-like thing if you haven't seen it. Plague Burst Crawler is new though. It's the new Death Guard tank. I've got one right here. It's not built, but it's there. There it is.
Ooh.
Ignore the loyalist or shit on top. That's just a little project. There we go. There it is.
Traitor.
Pretty much. But no, I was just practice. It's more practicing my painting on those guys actually, rather than anything else.
No, good idea.
Hey,
look, you can always paint them up as Death Guard rhinos, or
well, they are white currently. Actually, they're grey, but they're meant to be white.
No, green goes really well on grey. Just painting tip. Green goes really well on grey primer.
Good to know.
That's what I use for my Death Guard. Grey primer.
Nice. So, Plague Burst Crawler has a degrading stat line. Devolving. Becomes a blob of slime.
Hey, that's pretty noble. So
yeah. So it goes from movement 9 to 6 to 4, ballistic skill from 4 to 5 to 5, and strength from 7 to 6 to 5. Interestingly, it doesn't lose any attacks,
which is handy.
But that's because it's a demon, but normally you would see vehicles lose attacks, and it normally goes from like it goes from like 3 attacks to D3 attacks to 1 attack. But this just loses strength and ballistic skill. and movement, but that's standard.
Yeah.
So
And it
it's not-
doesn't lose that much ballistic skill. It stops at 5.
yeah, it only ever loses 1, but you know. And these guys can be used 2 ways. They can sit at the back and pummel people from really far away. Well, not really far away, 48 inches away.
36 inches, yeah.
Wow, 48 with the mortar.
But you want your entropy cannons to be in range too.
Yeah, you do. You definitely do. So 36 inches basically is their sweet spot, I think.
Yeah.
And then they come with a plague burst mortar, a heavy slugger, and 2 plague spitters. Now the plague spitters you swap out straight away for the entropy cannons.
Yeah.
Not because plague spitters are bad. We've already said how good plague spitters are, but you don't want, unless you want these tanks to be driving forward at the enemy, then you don't want the plague spitters. You want the entropy cannons.
The way I would play them, I do. But that said, I think the Myphitic Blight Halls, the way I'm going to play this army, will be a better fit.
Yeah. So entropy cannons are range 36, heavy 1 shot, strength 8, AP -4, -4. Oh. And D6 damage. They're slightly worse las cannons, basically. In fact, las cannons are AP.
But they're cheaper because of that.
Las cannons are AP -3, aren't they?
No, I think they're -4.
I don't think they are.
Wait, hang on. Wait, Twin las cannon, Land Raider. -3, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's literally in the freaking stat line above. So they're 1 less strength than a las cannon, but they are 1 extra AP, and they're both D6 damage. So, and obviously, the slightly shorter range. I actually would rather have the -4 AP than the 9 strength.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's cheaper. Like strength 8, strength 9. Yeah, I'd take the entropy cannon over a las cannon.
Not always, but definitely.
Not always, but
I wish you could give the Land Raider. I wish you could give the Land Raider some of the Nurgle weapons.
Yeah.
Anyway,
even a Land Raider with twin entropy cannons, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I would rather.
Forge World, I hope you're listening. Nurgle upgrade kit for Land Raiders.
Can you in the chapter approved? There's the whole build your own Ram Raider thing, isn't there?
Yes. Yeah, but that's only for open play. So.
Good point. Yeah, but fuck it. I'll just play an open play.
Primary twin las cannon. No, I can't do it. I think you can do it.
Don't tell me I can't, Tim. I'm just going to do it. Now you said I can't. I'm going to do it.
No, you can't.
No, I can.
It doesn't say you can.
I don't care. So.
I wouldn't bother.
No, I'm not
in a basket.
But maybe in the future we might see.
I mean, you could model it with twin entropy cannons on the sponsor and just say they're twin las cannons.
Boring. Anyway.
Counts as boring.
So, the Plague Burst Corolla also has toughness 8, which is amazing, and 12 wounds.
Yeah.
It's got a 3-up save. And it's also got disgustingly resilient because it's a demon, and that means it's got a 5-up invulnerable save as well because it's a demon. It does mean its ballistic skill starts at 4, which kind of sucks, but meh. So your
mortar is what makes this unit awesome.
Exactly. So your mortar is your main weapon, and that's free with the points cost of the tank, I believe. So it's heavy D6 shots, strength of 8, which is great, -2 AP, which is good. It's D3 damage a hit, and it's a plague weapon, and it can fire at targets that are not visible to the firing model. Yay!
Yeah, it's pretty freaking awesome. Especially in a ITC scenario. In ITC, in the middle of the board, you're supposed to have a line of sight blocking piece of terrain in the dead middle of the board, and this is you're not always going to see that, but hey, look, you've got units there that can fire over that and into your enemy and negate that whole terrain feature while your infantry are moving up. That's pretty decent.
I also like the fact that these things were created by Mortarion himself because he was angry that the basically like angry that the Space Marines had Vindicators, and he was like, right, I'm going to do it better. I'm going to do it better, and I'm going to do it with demons. And he like locked himself away and came out with these freaking Plague Burst crawlers. Like, this is what I created. I put
kiddies.
I put the gun in the wrong place. It fires up and over rather than straight. And
it still says "fuck you,"
and it still does potentially quite a decent amount of damage. Strength 8 with a mortar is pretty decent. Like it's good. And the other gun it's got a heavy slugger, which is not a bad gun. It's like 4 shots at 36 range, and it's strength 5 minus 1 AP.
Yeah, it's a heavy bolter with an extra shot.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. And if you want to, you can replace it with a Rot Hail volley gun, which I thought was going to be a plague weapon, but it's not. But that's got a range. That's got shorter range, so it's only range 24. It's only got 3 shots, but it's strength 6 with AP minus 2. So it's slightly harder hitting, but less shots and less range. I would probably just keep the slugger.
Yeah.
Swap out the plague spitters for the entropy cannons and keep the mortar. This is how I'm going to build my first one. Unless I can.
Keep in mind
to magnetize.
Yeah. Keep in mind if you are moving it up and attacking the enemy, it does suffer -1 to hit.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not as good as the Blight Haulers where they move. They don't suffer the penalties. So the Plague Burst Crawler is not
stable.
It's a sit there and shoot unit. You could play it as something else. You could give it the Plague Spitters in the Rot Hail volley gun and drive it forwards and just hope the mortar hits. But you don't want to be doing that really.
Yeah.
So that takes us to the last unit that we should bother talking about,
which is All Hail the Primarch.
I'm just going to read the bit of fluff at the bottom.
Yep, go for it.
For our vision they condemned us. For the sin of seeing clearly what our father, their precious emperor, had become, they called us traitor and cast us out. But now, my sons, now there shall be a reckoning. Mortarion before the invasion of Ultramar. I mean, that's a decent speech. I'd fight for this guy.
Yeah, if I was a Plague Marine, I'd have a massive chubby right about now.
I'd be like, oh my god, we're going to kill stuff.
That'd be finding some sort of demonette to fuck.
Mortarion is we're not Slaanesh. Jesus.
Well, you can still fuck stuff.
We don't go for that whole pleasures of the flesh stuff because our flesh is literally falling off.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, no, just. Ugh. Anyway,
leprosy.
Yeah, I'm just so many horrible thoughts.
Okay. Two dead hookers washed up on a beach. They found more crabs in the dead hooker than on the beach. Oh god.
Shocking.
Anyway, go on. Back to Mortarion.
Mortarion, our Lord and Savior. Degrading stat line like a vehicle. He's got 18 wounds, by the way. He's toughness
massive.
7.
Yeah, he's
Toughness
massive.
7. He's strength 8. Weapon skill and ballistic skill are 2+, and he gets to reroll. He rerolls everything basically. His leadership 10, and he's got a 3-up save.
Yeah.
His movement degrades from 12 to 10 to 8. His attacks degrade from 6 to 5 to 4, and his special ability degrades from 4 to 5 to 6. We'll get to that in a minute. His gun pistol thing is, which I don't really, I forget to fire it really because it's not that great, but it is great, but it's not that great. It's 18-inch range pistol, strength 8, minus 3 AP, damage 3, and basically it's just like a laser. You just draw a straight line and like it hits everything in that line.
Yeah.
You roll to hit once, but then if you hit, it hits and you're gonna hit because you hit on a 2+ with a reroll. But You just then hit like every model in that line, but it only like hits each unit once though.
Yeah.
So it can't
It's
like
handy.
hit. You can't like line up a Terminator unit and like shoot a line of Terminators and kill every Terminator. You can only hit one of them. But but if your opponent's got a couple of units, maybe a character in behind the unit, then it's quite good for that. You can kind of clip a character that's hiding behind the unit. Because you just roll to hit the unit and it just blasts the character behind them.
Yeah. That is pretty cool.
So yeah, and it's strength 8 and it's AP -3, so it's pretty decent.
It's very fluffy.
Yeah, exactly. Then you get to his actual weapon. Forget the pistol, that's just a bonus weapon. He's got Phosphex bombs as well, which is quite a good grenade.
Yeah, and the claws and teeth.
I was going to ignore that. Basically, he's got a load of little. He's got a load of little like flying nurglings that can attack as well.
Yeah, it's like Belisarius cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's got his little mechadroids, hasn't he?
Yeah, mechadroids.
How many attacks does he get with those?
2d6.
No, the attendants. D6.
Oh, D6.
D6. He gets D6 strength 2, damage 1 attacks. Woohoo! I'm not going to complain. It's extra attacks, but don't expect him to do anything. Yeah, so his Phosphex bombs are a 2d6 strength 5 -1 AP grenade. And then he gets his actual weapon. This is the only weapon that's worth like using, like lots of.
Yeah.
So, and it's called Silence. What a brilliant name for a weapon.
Yeah, and this was actually the weapon. Getting into the fluff, this was the weapon that the Tyrannic Overlord used. So he took Silence from the corpse of the dead Overlord.
Yeah,
but
it's sort of like mutated with him.
Yeah.
So it has 2 attack profiles, and basically it's either kill lots of little things or kill lots of little bigger things. Everything is little. Everything is little to Mortarion.
Yeah.
And whatever he charges, you will kill in 1 turn. There's no excuse not to. I did
even a knight. Yeah, even a knight.
Maybe not a knight, but you could easily do it in 1 turn.
Yeah.
I charged a Razorback and did like 26 wounds to it.
Okay, so yeah, you could really pummel the shit out of a knight, couldn't you? Hang on.
I don't. Knights have got what, 28 wounds?
Yeah, but if you're blasting it with the lantern first.
Yeah, fair point. So anyway,
that or you've got Blight Haulers and they cop a ton of shit. The knight cops a ton of shit from it, and then Mortarion just cleans it up.
Yeah. So
no, it can do it. 24 wounds is a basic knight has 24 wounds.
Yeah, well, Mortarion can do more than that. It's just I did 24 wounds to a Razorback. That was a decent roll, but
yeah.
So anyway, so something fell over. 2 attack profiles: Reaping Scythe, which is the kill lots of mini minions, which is basically strength user, which is strength 8, so decent. -2 AP, which is still decent. Damage 1, but it's plague weapon, which means he rerolls his 1s to wound, and he also makes 3 hit rolls for every attack with this weapon. So at full health, he's making 18 attacks with that weapon. Bearing in mind you're hitting on 2s, and at strength 8, you're probably wounding on 2s.
That's
with rerolls on both the wounds and the hits.
Would you use that against Custodes?
No, because you'll be winning on.
Oh no, they're tiny units, aren't they? So you might as well just go with Eviscerating Blow.
Yeah, and you'd be winning on 3s, and I'd rather. So Eviscerating Blow is the second melee, a second profile, which is strength times 2. So we're talking strength 16. That wounds a Lamb Raider on 2s.
Yeah.
You've got AP -4, which means Lamb Raiders don't get Lamb Raiders get a 6-up save. I think Lamb Raiders have got a 2-up save, haven't they? Yeah, they do.
Yes.
So I'm just using Lamb Raiders as a basic example. I don't know why.
Well, it's still a 6-up. Fuck you.
Yeah, so it's 6-up, but it's a plague weapon, so you're rerolling 1s to wound, and it's D6 damage per hit. So basically, I ran up to a Razorback and I think he had a Tech Marine next to it, and I charged them both. and I used one attack on the Tech Marine and killed him, and I used 5 attacks on the Razorback and did. Maybe it wasn't 24. Maybe it was like 18. I rolled really well. Like every attack hit and every attack wounded, and he didn't get a save. 5d6. What's that? That's maximum of 30. Yeah, so maybe I did do 24 wounds. It was definitely. I think it was over 20. Yeah, because 5d6 is 30 wounds potentially. I rolled really well. And yeah, the Razorback just exploded. It didn't actually explode, but it could have exploded. I mean, I imagine I just cut it in half. Now, the rule I forget with Mortarion is his Host of Plagues ability.
Yeah.
Which basically, at the start of every fight phase, that's your turn and the opponent's. Roll a dice on Mortarion's damage chart. If your roll is equal or exceeds the required roll, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And again, this is where fighting Custodes, you just dish out mortal wounds and they just start dropping dead.
Yeah.
Because they, as far as I'm aware, they don't have a good way of stopping it.
No, they don't. They got invulnerable saves, and like they're really good at stopping stock standard wounds, but they don't have a good way of stopping mortal wounds. Like they don't have any sort of feel no pain or anything like that. Somebody disagree?
No. So basically, yeah, he just chops through everything, basically. So they have to kill him, and they have to kill him fast. And they will target Mortarion, because if they let him run around the board, he does just cause a crazy amount of stuff. So the only thing that I found that I thought that Mortarion didn't struggle with, but they hit him first, was the Ynnari special character.
Yeah.
Which has some crazy special rules that I didn't know about.
Was that the Avatar or?
No, the actual. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the woman.
Yeah, she's got some crazy special rules that actually
he's
like,
ridiculous.
That I was like, oh, Mortarion might actually die, and she took Mortarion down a good few wounds, and then I hit back, and she just disappeared. But Mortarion's got 4+ invuln. He's got his Toxic Presence, which subtracts -1 from toughness from everything within 7 of him,
which is pretty damn awesome.
So Custodes down to toughness 4.
Well, yeah, winning Custodes on 2-ups with either weapon.
And if Mortarion dies, he does explode as well. Mortarion did die in 1 game, but that was because he had been absolutely pummeled by shooting, and I decided to fight a Storm Raven, Storm Raven, whatever the bigger Space Marine flyer is. I chopped it in half in combat and it exploded in Mortarion's face and killed him. And that was just unlucky. I failed all my deception and resilient rolls. And obviously Mortarion's a Psyker as well, so he can summon Psychic Eve stuff. Which is just a bonus.
He's pretty boss.
Yeah. Oh, he's amazing. I mean, he's, again, like...
the best part about him is he can deny 3 psychic powers in each enemy psychic phase.
Oh, yeah, he's a good stopper of psychic as well.
Because he hates psychers, and he became one, and he's like, well, fuck it. You know?
He's like, well, if I'm going to use the powers, I might as well get really good at stopping other powers.
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, what was it? He can fly, so it's like, well, I'm going to take out this this aircraft in hand-to-hand combat. You know, it's like, you know, oh, you're, you know, that really. There's always that one player you go up against, and he has a flyer just to annoy the crap out of you. And it's like he's the ultimate fly swatter.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious, except when they explode and kill you.
Yeah.
But it was hit him and kill him, or lose. Well, potentially lose the game. Actually, no, I wasn't going to lose the game, but I could have. So yeah, that's it really. That is the whole of the Death Guard Codex, apart from like a few of the relics and stuff, which I don't really. They're also like I don't. The relic.
We didn't really go through the relics. We went through the stratagems and some of the warlord traits.
We went through the
Like
strategy,
Mortarion, if he's your warlord, he comes with Arc Contaminator,
which is okay. That just
which isn't too bad. He rerolls all the failed wound rolls
which he wins
for
on.
plague weapons.
Yeah, the units around him get to because he
As
does
well.
it. Because he
Yeah.
moves mostly on 2s anyway. But I mean, just in terms of the relics, the only one that's really worth. No, that's not true. The one I use the most is the suppurating plate, which is basically gives you and I always put it on my demon prince.
Yeah.
It gives him a 2-up save, and then every time he actually makes a saving throw in combat on a 4-up. No, every time he makes a save, I get to roll a dice, and on a 4-up, he does a mortal wound back onto the unit that tried to wound him. So
Yeah, that's really cool.
yeah, it's just a cool little bonus.
I guess the other one you could do would be Fugaris's helm, say on the grenade dude or the blight spawn, to increase their aura abilities by 3 inches.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't mind the pandemic staff either.
Yeah, it's all right. It just means you're likely to pass that. I think your child did something.
Yeah, she just fell over and hurt herself. Beck's up there. Yeah, it's all good.
I mean, it just means that you're probably going to get your 7+ smites, which means you do the extra mortal wound more often.
Yeah. Hang on. We'll pause it. No, we'll be right back. Sorry.
Yeah, so psychic powers we haven't talked. Well, we've talked about a little bit. Basically, there is Miasma Pestilence, which makes your units harder to hit. There's Gift of Contagion, which helps to reduce the stats of enemy units. Plague Wind, which does mortal wounds on all of 6 on the units. And Blades of Putrefaction gives your units. What does that one do? Any wound rolls gives +1 to wound rolls in the fight phase, and any wound rolls of 7+. With a plague weapon inflicts an additional mortal wound on the target. So that's actually pretty good if you're running close combat plague marines units. Putrescent Vitality is one we've talked about. It gives you infantry unit +1 strength and toughness. And Curse of the Leper is roll 7 dice, and for every roll that exceeds the toughness characteristic, it causes a mortal wound. If you've got a few psychers in your list, you want to try and take probably as many of these as possible. The only one I don't tend to use that often is Plague Wind, and that's because I tend to be up against like Space Marines and stuff, and so they're running small unit sizes, so it's less effective. Blades of Putrefaction as well is one I haven't used much of, but that's because I don't have the close combat Plague Marines yet. So it's
Sorry about that.
less useful with non-close combat weapons. So yeah, but if you're running a close combat unit, Blades of Putrefaction could be pretty decent. And yeah, so that's all the psychic powers. All right, Tim, I just ran through the psychic powers.
Yay!
So yeah, I was just basically saying they've all got a pretty good use. And because I normally run at least 2 or 3 psychers, I tend to get most of them in my list. But pretty much all the psychic powers in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're running about, 2? If you're running Mortarion, a couple of Plague Casters, and a Demon Prince, you're going to have all of them.
Yeah, I was just saying that the ones I don't use as much are Plague Wind and Blades of Putrefaction.
Yeah.
Just because I tend to end up against Plague Wind's better against Horde armies, and Blades of Putrefaction is better if you're running lots of close combat units, which I don't have.
No.
I guess I should be using it more often, probably on my Blight Lord Terminate. I should be doing that actually. I might start doing that a bit more. But the psychics don't tend to be near them because they tend to be in the back lines harassing. So
Yeah.
yeah, Putrescent Vitality and Miasma of Pestilence are the ones I cast the most.
Yeah.
But that's it, really. I mean, that's pretty much. We've gone through a lot of the stratagems. I can't really bother to go through all of them. There are, people are going to figure out their own ways of doing it.
Yeah.
Like we've gone through a few of the nasty little combos that we've sort of discussed over the last month or two. But that's it. I mean,
yeah, I could talk about painting, but I was going to have this whole spiel. I paint this way, I do this way, and all that sort of. But really, at the end of the day, if you jump on, the Warhammer TV on YouTube, look up Duncan painting Mortarion. That is literally everything you need to know about how to paint Death Guard.
And it's a really, really good video.
In that one model. It is a really good video. It is worth watching and downloading if you've got that function on your Google on YouTube. And watching that video, it is, always worth. That is a good video. And the only difference between my Death Guard and Duncan's Mortarion is that I've used Castellan Green instead of Death Guard Green with a highlight straight down with the airbrush of Strachan Green. So it comes up, they look a bit darker than the Death Guard Green.
Whereas I've done Death Guard Green and mine are a bit lighter.
Yeah. So mine are a very dark drab green after you put the Agrax Earthshade Wash, or I use Strong Tone, but they're very similar.
I've used a mixture of actually Agrax and Strong Tone, but you can't really tell the difference that much.
No. And the other thing I do is at the end of my paint, when I've finished painting them, I'll spray them with Satin Wash. I will apply Mick Jimenez's Nature Effects Earth. That one. AMIG 1403. And then, after that's dried, apply Dry Step splashes around their feet, and to give them like they've been walking through mud and dust. Then I will also apply at that stage. I've usually applied the Nihilec oxide for corrosion around the odd rust, the odd bolt and stuff like that along their armor before the stage. But I'll have also painted some areas with, don't have it, Mig Jimenez's, I think it's Dark Rust. I'll double check that, but it's one of the rust colors, or medium rust, sorry, in small patches around their armor. And then I will apply, medium rust pigment mixed. You mix it with, where is it? Odorless thinner to create like a paste, and then apply that to wherever you've painted the red rust on the actual model. So it's got a bit of texture, rusted texture. I then apply pigment fixer to it. And once it's all dry and all said and done, varnish it with a matte varnish. I use, again, Ammo by MiG. But Vallejo is very good as well to the miniature, and that is the miniature painted. My basing is very simple. I use ballast, various different kinds of ballast. One fine ballast and then a bit of a coarser ballast in some spots to make some different style terrain. I'll glue on a skull or a large rock or both onto the bases, depending on base side. My Porkswalkers just get the mix of ballast. I don't know if you can really see that. A mix of ballast without the rocks and the skulls. You can get the plastic skulls from Games Workshop, but there's a few companies out there that just do resin skulls as well, the same size. And then I paint it. I don't think you can get this anymore, but the spray Mornfang Brown, if you're doing them separately to the base, or Mornfang Brown just on the base, painted on. I then dry brush it with a bone color. Ushbadi bone should be fine. Then I go over the skulls with a solid bone color. Agrax Earthshade it, or Strong Tone it. And hey presto, that's your base painted and done. Maybe highlight the skull. I then put, where are they? Here we go. Yeah. Scenic, Warlord Games, Dead Grass. Wait. Warlord Games. Yeah. Yeah. Warlord Games, Warworld Scenics, Dead Grass. On it. And with Army Painter Highland Tufts. And hey presto, you wind up with a fairly good base.
I haven't based mine yet. I've just remembered. I've got to base my whole army.
There you go. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You should always do it as you go. It's a lot easier.
I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I based the two plague drones.
Yep.
And I did it with I did it with a textured paint, and I had some barrels that I rusted up and used some of the G-Dubs Nurgle Rot technical paint.
Yep.
To make it look like a bit of a chemical spill type thing.
Yep.
And I did that on those, and then I was like, I'll do that to all of them, and I was like, I really hate using that textured paint. So I sort of stepped back and decided what I was going to do. I think I've got some I've got loads of stuff. I've got a load of that sort of dead-looking style grass. It's a little bit like what you've got. So, and I've got some heathery style tufts. So
nice.
I'll probably do it like that. So make it look like a dead sort of tundra-y look.
Nice.
But I do need to do that actually before I buy any more. Because they're all painted.
Pretty straightforward.
Everything I've got is painted apart from Felthius's cohort.
That's pretty good. Nice work.
So I've been pretty good with my Death Guard. I've got demons that aren't painted, but I'm not really using them at the moment anyway. So, but to do my rusting effects, I use this, which is Monomate weathering wash. So for all my bronzy bits on my guys, they're basically painted in gold, and then I put this over the top, and it makes them go a nice bronzy, rusty color. So,
nice.
Just got to be careful with that stuff, though. If you need to do the wash before you do that, because the wash starts to take the weathering liquid off. So yeah, but apart from that, it's good stuff. It smells really bad.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing I will say. I don't do my slimy bits the same way that Duncan does. I paint those. I do paint them a brightish green, like warp green or moot green, whichever you're using. But then I'll wash it with Karaberg Crimson and maybe Agrax Earthshade, make it really dirty green, and then I'll go back over it during the weathering stage, and I will put Nurgle's Rot on it.
I like Nurgle's Rot. Nurgle's Rot is good.
I love it. It looks really green and slimy and gross.
I've got most of the technical paints. I've got the Soulstone Blue. I've got the Blood for the Blood God, which is a great one as well. I've used a lot of that on my Nurgle stuff actually. A lot of where there's mouths and stuff appearing in their chests. I went a bit crazy with some of them and just splattered them with quite a bit of.
I know I did.
Quite a bit of, or where their guts are just like hanging out. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to splatter in a load of. This guy is actually one of my favorite ones. You won't be able to see it on camera, but he's got where his tongue is coming out of his chest. He's got Nurgle's rot over the tongue. I painted it pink, or like fleshy color, not pink, but like a fleshy color. Then I did a wash over that. Probably it would have been Agrax. Then I've put some Nurgle's rot over it, which gives it a nice slimy green. And then in the gaps around the teeth, I've put Blood for the Blood God. It just literally looks as if it looks as if a tentacle is literally bursting out of this.
Nice.
It's a nice. It looks grim, but in a really cool way. And like, I don't really like. I happily admit I'm not the best painter, but I do feel like the models themselves have helped me achieve a really nice finish on them. And without taking too much time, which is always the thing for me with painting. I don't like taking too long to paint, just because I'm more interested in getting them fully painted and on the table rather than necessarily spending hours and hours on the painting. But that's just me. Obviously, some people will be the complete opposites.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like Nurgle's really fun to paint because you do use so many washes and can use so many different techniques on them. Like most infantry, you don't use too many weathering effects on either. So
no, exactly. That's It's I mean, some better painters than me, like Tim, will achieve far greater effects with the armor and stuff. But I'm really happy with how mine look, and they look decent. When I went to this tournament the other day, I think I'm pretty sure I was the only person with a fully painted army there.
Nice. Did you get best painted?
There wasn't a best painted. It wasn't that kind of tournament. It was like it was just a really friendly event. But I mean,
cool.
I came second. I was chuffed with that. Of all the people I played anyway, I was the only one with a fully painted army. And I'm looking around. I'm sure. Oh, actually, the guy that won it also had. I think all his demons were fully painted.
Oh, nice.
So I think first and second place were like the only ones that had fully painted armies. But I might be wrong about that because I didn't look at every single person's army. So I'm gonna call it there.
Me too.
Because it's early for Tim. Well, it's not so early for Tim anymore. It's probably 10 o'clock.
It's 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. It's just after 11 o'clock here. I've done a whole day of work and now this on 2 hours sleep. You're doing great. I did not sleep well last night at all. So I'm about to pass out. But guys, I think that's probably our longest live stream ever.
That's nearly 4 hours, like 3.5 hours.
Yeah. I mean, me and Tim wanted to do it because we've been going on about doing a Death Guard episode for ages. Even before Tim had his Death Guard stuff, we were talking about doing it.
Yeah. And it was we knew this would be a marathon session as well, so
we wanted to give as much insight into it as possible and just our zany random comments and distractions.
And they've been out for a year now, or nearly a year now, and they're not the new kids on the block anymore, which makes it a bit cool. Like, yeah, everyone's done the reviews, and you can read on Bella Souls, Frontline Game, yada yada yada. But this is just our take on it. And yeah, it's something a bit different to the usual combined ops.
And even though stuff's come out since then, and obviously it's still coming out, you got the Tau Codex being released this week.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think Death Guard have slipped down the pecking order in any way. I don't think they're suddenly
but
struggle.
Honestly, in 8th Ed, there aren't any bad armies.
No, exactly. Right, so thanks for watching, guys. Any comments, feel free to leave them. I'm sure we've got a few bits wrong here or there, but just let us know. And if anyone watched it if anyone watches this all the way through in one go, well done, because
Hooray!
I'm almost dying. So
we might have to put this into a bit of a podcast.
yeah, literally. Maybe we might actually do that. Actually, so
if we can.
it's
You'll
yeah, we
listen
can.
to it if
We
you
can.
want
Yeah,
to.
we can. Right. So bye from me.
All right. Take care.
And
Good luck. The blessings of Nurgle be upon you all.
All I'm hoping is he blesses me with some sleep tonight. Right. Bye, guys.
All right.